No. No. Yeah. No. 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 Yeah.
What's good, y'all? What's the word, gang? Happy Friday.
Welcome back, Weenie.
Happy Friday. How y'all feeling, man? I'm feeling good, feeling great. Feel a little bit better. Been making some progress on Resident Evil 2 or the gaming channel. The game's stressful as fuck, but to get through it feel better. I was just watching some speed runs on that shit too. I was watching people speed run it. I'm like, shit, I guess that's the easiest way to figure out where to go if you don't know what to do next. And it ain't no fluff in between. I know they be moving fast and avoiding enemies, but I'm like, shit, if you just gonna keep moving, what's good, trailer? If you just gonna keep moving, I'm like, shit, where do I go next? That's what I need to know. Shit, if I kill enemies, I kill enemies, man. But shit, I need to know where the fuck to go. And they was flying through that shit. I'm like, damn, bro. Motherfuckers got all types of tricks to move through that game fast. But how y'all feeling, man? What's good? I hope y'all got paid today. Early crew said you got it. Man, look. You said I got 3 bosses. I'm thinking I got like 2. I'm like, Jesus. That shit. But yeah, man. So what we got today? The new DEI hire, Erika Kirk. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover this Sneako and Andrew Tate shit. I haven't watched any of what they've said to one another. I just seen that he called him gay, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? He's so childish. So I got to see what that was about. And what else we got? I forgot what the hell I had on stream. Oh, I saw Stephen A. and Dean talked 2 weeks ago, and I didn't hear anything about it. I'm like, I guess it wasn't spicy enough. I'm like, nobody said anything about Dean and Stephen A. talking, and I would have thought that would have been a big deal. So I'm super, like, curious to see what that was about. And if we got time, Amazing Lucas got a video covering Jasmine Crockett's loss in Texas, if we got time to get to that. Depending on how long we are by then. I don't feel like it's super pressing to get to, but just in case, you feel me? Nobody cares about Stephen A. No, I can't stand Stephen A., but if Dean talked to him, hopefully Dean, like, told him something that he didn't know. So, you thought about watching what, the Amazing Lucas Jasmine video or Dean and Stephen A. random? I'm just curious, like, if Dean got to, like, make him look stupid at any point. But I don't know. I'm like, nobody has spoken on this, so I'm like, is it just not that good of an interview or whatever? But I don't know. I want to see it regardless. I'm going to see what happens. Hopefully it's entertaining. But, yeah, man, we could get to it. Shit. I don't like wasting time. Dean and Stephen A. Yeah, I don't like wasted time, man. So let's get to it. So, this video is by Torian Rain Reloaded. He's a part of the community. He makes content every day. Commentary content on different subjects, politics, racial topics. Not drama so much. He usually talks about real world shit. For the most part, he has a very interesting channel where he does like deep dives into like, some like maybe some cases that's went on in America that's gotten overlooked, like crime mystery type stuff. Like he covers that, like I said, racial topics, politics. So he got some decent content. He covering it's called Trump appoints Erika Kirk to Air Force Academy position that she is not qualified for. More the same, right? So let's see the job that Erika Kirk got.
Looks like DEI, or at least the bastardized version, actually is working its magic again. And to be quite honest, considering that DEI and affirmative action as it stands benefited white women more than anybody else, this actually is working the way it's supposed to.
That's funny, because that is what everybody knows. Like, DEI help white women the most, and then look who the fuck gets a job that they ain't got nothing to do with.
So in case y'all are unaware, and I actually found this out on a live stream that I did on Tuesday, and it actually just like, I had to like look at that because I wasn't sure if it was true or not, but it indeed is. Erika Kirk was appointed by Trump to the Air Force Academy Board. This is the same board that Charlie Kirk was on that Trump appointed him to. And mind
Force
you,
Academy?
Charlie Kirk wasn't qualified to be in that position. So to continue his legacy of doing God knows what, because I still don't know what he did, they decided to.
I mean, at this point, maybe it's a meaningless position. Maybe it's just something like it's just like a filler position that just somebody got to be in because they need X amount of people on the board. But that doesn't sound like a good idea because board people make serious decisions. So
to appoint Erika in the same exact spot. And I'm trying to figure out what is it that Charlie Kirk's job was in that spot, because number one, he has no Air Force experience. Like, he wasn't in the military,
Right,
he wasn't in the Air Force. And then two, he was always not globetrotting, but he was always playing college campus hopscotch for months before he died. So how would he have had time to actually fulfill the duties of whatever this position was? And how, I don't know what Erika Kirk is supposed to be doing, because again, I don't know what Charlie Kirk was doing. But let me go ahead and get into this. It says President Donald Trump has appointed Erika Kirk, widow of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, to the board of visitors that's in charge of making U.S. Air Force Academy recommendations to the Secretary of Defense and the President. Again, a job she's not qualified for either, because she too, just like her late husband, was not in the military via the Air Force. As of Tuesday, March 10th, Kirk is listed on the United States Air Force Academy Board of Visitors website as an appointee of President Trump. Olivia Wells, White House spokeswoman, also confirmed her appointment in a statement to USA Today on March 10th. Now, isn't this woman supposed to be the CEO of Turning Point USA?
That is crazy. Like, it just, all of it is just so contradictory. We got these, Charlie Kirk ran around saying the women need to go back to getting their MRS degree and blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, yeah, he's not here to see it, but it's like, what do y'all, this is exactly why we advocate for women to do what the fuck they want to do. Because you died, sir. What would your wife do if she wasn't capable of being the CEO and now she's being a head of a board that she has no, what's the word? She has no experience in the Air Force. And now she's on the board of the academy, and she's the CEO of your company. But y'all be running around talking about some women need their MRS degree and why go to school and blah, blah, blah. Why get an education? Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting your time? And now look what's happening when you pass away. She's like the opposite of everything you advocated for. These people, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't even understand the depth of the rhetoric that they spew. They just say it because it sounds good and it feels good in the moment, and they don't take, as Asmund would say, 3 seconds to think about it past the surface level. Because why is she a CEO of a company and she went to school for like, I think she got a law degree, to be fair, but then I see she did like biblical study. That was her major. She studied for a doctorate for biblical studies in 2025. That was just fucking last year. That was last year. So
on. Because how is she going to juggle both of these? Just like I don't know how Charlie Kirk was supposed to juggle the TPUSA, going to college campuses, and then supposed to be doing this position that they just put his wife in. So she can't do both. I don't even know how she even got the CEO spot. I mean, I kind of do, because like they just gave her that spot, even though I don't think she was qualified to do that. And now she's in another position that she's not qualified for. It seems to me Erika Kirk is just being shuffled around wherever she can be seen. And since she craves attention, she will have no problem denying it, because it's not like they're storing her in the back somewhere where we can't even visibly see her. Anything that'll keep her out in front and center, or keep her name floating around a little bit, Alvin, she's completely fine with. It says President Trump made the perfect choice in appointing Erika Kirk to the U.S. Air Force Academy Board of Visitors, Wells wrote in a statement. Well, to this Wells person, this Olivia Wells, why was it the perfect spot? Why? What are her qualifications? I'm curious.
Right.
It says there are 16 seats altogether on the board, and among them are Republican and Democratic lawmakers from states such as Alabama, Colorado, and North Dakota, as well as retired Air Force Colonel Doug Stoley Nikolai. Now listen to that. It says there are 16 seats altogether, and they are Republican and Democratic lawmakers. She's none of those.
Right.
And then it says that they also have a retired Air Force person on there who will be qualified because they're retired Air Force. So again, how is she qualified? Like, they just gave her a spot and just said, here you go. And now she's just going to make more money doing nothing, much like her husband was doing over there, doing nothing and making money. I wouldn't be surprised if some of that money was to fund him in his trips to go to these campuses.
Wait a minute, y'all. How many people did he say on this board? Because if I'm finna show y'all the pictures of the people on this board, I could totally be looking at the wrong thing. How many people did he say?
Like, they just gave her a spot and just said, here you go. And now she's just going to make more money doing nothing, much like her husband was doing over there, doing nothing and making money. I wouldn't be surprised if some of that money was to fund him in his trips to go to these campuses. It says the board's responsibilities include looking into the academy's morale, discipline, curriculum, instruction, physical equipment, financial affairs, academic methods, and other matters. Stuff that I don't think she's nearly qualified to do. The board also makes recommendations to the Secretary of Defense and the President. The U.S. Air Force Academy said in a statement to USA Today on March 10th that it does not influence or take a position on the selection of individual Board of Visitor members. The Academy added that it thanks all members of the USAFA Board of Visitors for their service and commitment to our mission. In accordance, so they don't even have a say in this. That's crazy. In accordance with federal law, board appointments are made independently by the President of the United States and the congressional leaders in both the House and Senate. I think that might be something they need to do away with when this administration is over. Because like I said, it's way too many people that are getting jobs and positions in spots that they are not.
It's funny. It looked like Markway Mullen was on this board too, and now he's just got put to DHS.
Qualified for. And then they wonder why stuff is messed up, considering there's a person sitting in that White House who's not even qualified to be there themselves.
See, Alva, I just saw that. So the Board of Visitors, I don't know. Didn't he just say this is the Board of Visitors, which is what he's talking about, versus the board, the leadership board? I think those are two different things. So I think it's the Board of Visitors is what she got appointed to, and not the board. Because I see what you're talking about. It's like 17 people for the leadership, but I think it's hers the board, which is only like 8 or so people.
Figure.
What's good, Albert?
It says the board provides reports and recommendations to the Secretary of War, and that name still irks me. Like, my goodness. At least it's living up to its title now, considering we're literally in the middle of a war right now. And the Secretary of the Air Force, the statement said, Erika Kirk's late husband previously served on the board, according to the White House spokeswoman. Charlie Kirk served proudly on the board, inspiring not only the next generation of service members, but millions around the world with his bold Christian faith, defense of the truth, and deep love of our country. What does that have to do at the end of the day with the Air Force itself? So are you saying everybody who's in the Air Force has to be a Christian? Like,
wait,
huh?
Wait, what?
So are you at the defense of service members? Spokeswoman. Charlie Kirk served proudly on the board, inspiring not only the next generation of service members, but millions around the world with his bold Christian faith, defense of the truth, and deep love of our country. What does that have to do at the end of the day with the Air Force itself?
That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
So are you saying everybody who's in the Air Force has to be a Christian?
That's like, irrelevant to the position.
And then I could have sworn, and someone can let me know if I'm wrong. Didn't Charlie Kirk try to be or go to West Point or something like that, but he didn't make it?
Yep.
So he couldn't even get into a military academy, one of the most, if not the most prestigious military academy.
Oh yeah, they already got her name up there. So yes, the Board of Visitors appointed by the President. Tommy Tupperville, Dan Clark, Doug Nicolai, Dina Powell, Erika Kirk, and then there's still a vacant spot. I'm guessing that's maybe where Charlie Kirk was. But yeah. And then you got all these people that was appointed by somebody in government. But nonetheless, Charlie Kirk is just like, damn, Trump literally will give you a job for being his friends. Like this DEI stuff is crazy when what they're doing is worse. They're just picking people because you know the right person. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, y'all complain about DEI. Y'all ain't got no complaints about Erika Kirk being on the board of the Board of Visitors for the U.S. Air Force. Y'all want to act like the Air Force, not the Air Force, the military is just the most important thing. And like, you know, we had these DEI hires for our military. We had a weak military. Nobody wanted to join. Let's put Erika Kirk on the board for the Air Force. Like, What the hell?
In the establishment, but he was able to just serve on this board because Trump put him there. Again, they are installing, man, y'all can't tell me white privilege ain't real. You can't tell me it ain't. It says Erika Kirk will continue his legacy, whatever that.
And that's what's crazy. Like, it's just so annoying because this is so blatant. It's not like we have to figure out what's the underlying truth, because there's a lot of, well, I think they're lying about the confusion of DEI. They don't want to know the truth. They act like they're just picking random minorities off the street and giving them jobs when that's not how it works. And we've not even seen any results of that being a thing, like picking up a bum because they're black off the street, giving them a job, and then shit goes to shit. We haven't seen that happen. But we know that Erika Kirk has no experience in military, no real leadership. I don't even know if the board thing is necessarily leadership. But, you know, like, she has nothing to do with government. She has no experience in government. She has no experience in the military, but she's on the board for the Air Force. What are we talking about? I mean, if this board is just a bunch of stand-in names for some nonsense that they don't do shit, tell me and I'll move on. Because if that's the case, if it's one of them things where they just got some people to just say they doing something and they really ain't doing shit, then just say that. But Erika got a cop to it, that she got a pointless position. So tell me that and we'll keep it pushing.
And be a fearless advocate for the most elite air power force in the history of the world, whose warriors keep our nation safe, strong, and free. While serving on the board, Charlie Kirk asked Air Force Academy staff for details on how they followed President Trump's orders on critical race theory and diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, my God.
Oh. So, now, see, there it is. So that's all he did. Was basically everything he was doing at Turning Point USA and on his own time, and carrying it and trying to carry it over into the Air Force. Figures. Nothing really of substance at all, but he was just bringing his rhetoric over there. He asked.
Shout out to Hugo XGC for the 2 pounds, right? Euros? I forgot. It's the euros. Thank you for the 2 pounds. I forgot. DEI bad, but blatant nepotism is just fine as usual. Right. Like, and you know, the thing is, I'm not 100% against nepotism. I'm not. I'm truly not 100%. I think there's a good way to engage in nepotism, and I think there's a bad way, just like kind of most things. But DEI, if DEI in and of itself isn't bad, because it's just giving people an opportunity that may not have had it. It's not putting people in positions they don't deserve. It's just not. I think that's a pound, though, because the euro, I think, was more like a E. This has the hook at the top, so I think this is a pound. But yeah. Yeah, man.
How the Academy is ensuring compliance with the faculty to ensure the USAFA doesn't push the worldview of oppression, oppressor, or oppressed dynamics.
I agree, especially like it would be different if she was on like the board of Macy's or something. I honestly probably would understand that. If you on the board for Macy's, whatever. What the fuck ever. But the Air Force, come on, bro.
Western, anti-American, and gender ideology per notes from the August 7th meeting.
Extent.
In other words, anti-white rhetoric from his viewpoint. He also pushed to speed up the renovation of the U.S. Air Force Academy Chapel, according to a memo Doug Truax, CEO of Restoration of America Foundation Restoration of America, wrote to the board. Charlie,
honestly, if they was to be like, Erika Kirk is now on the board of Macy's, I'd be like, I get it. You know, I get it. I get it. I wouldn't be tripping. I wouldn't care.
Kirk said in August that the chapel, which some cadets had been disappointed they couldn't see during their time at the academy, was built in 2 years but would take 9 years to fix. Since she was appointed by the president, Erika Kirk will serve on the Air Force Academy Board of Visitors for at least 3 years or until a successor is chosen. I don't even think she's going to make it through 1 year. But that's just me. According to the Academy, she and other board members can request information about the Academy to come up with recommendations for the President and Secretary of Defense, and then put these recommendations into a semi-annual report. It says before marrying her husband in 2021, Erika won Miss Arizona.
Also, y'all, that was interesting when I found that out. Did y'all know that they were not married that long? Not that it means anything. It was just so curious to me that that they weren't married that long because of the way his career was, the way he spoke. It just I thought they were like high school. I thought he had his high school crush or something. You know what I'm saying? And but it kind of does. Just after we learned a little bit more about Erika, how she was kind of always looking to be in some type of spotlight, you know what I'm saying? And she's relatively, you know, and I'm not saying older women don't marry younger men, but she's significantly older. She's like 7-8 years older than Charlie Kirk. And it's like, this guy is coming up and he's like, you know, preaching these Christian values, and the young guy that might get into politics and has got the TPUSA going. I think she was like, you know what, I'm gonna marry him. I'm sorry, just I'm of two minds with this. Erika's lack of grieving publicly, in my opinion, lends credence to the narrative that she didn't give a fuck about this man. I also understand that people grieve differently, but I also understand that Charlie Kirk was probably just not somebody that was fun to be around. And she probably have a little bit of weight off her shoulders. I don't know. I think she might have felt some weight off her shoulders. Like, oh, I got the money, I got the image, and I don't have to deal with this motherfucker no more. Like, and I think that's what we see with the lack of the tears and the WWE entrances and the laughing of the money you made. I don't know. It just seems like she just was okay with him passing. I think she might have actually cared about him because she actually had kids with him, spent time with him. I think she liked him. But I think that she felt like she had a weight off her shoulders because now she can have the money without dealing with the man. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying like she's like a gold digger, but you know, she been done the reality shows and stuff like that. You know, she's done the pageants. She probably does want a level of fame, a level, not maybe like Beyonce or something, but she probably does want a certain level of fame. I think that's not a crazy take to make. I don't think that's too far fetched. And like I think Hugo just said, somebody said, oh, the optics is just so off.
USA in 2012 and received her Juris Masters from Liberty University of Law in 2019. Again, none of what she's done up until any point qualifies her.
Call her a donut alpha
to be there. None. But this is
and a trad wife wouldn't want to step up and be a CEO. I don't want to be a CEO. I'm not a trad wife, but I don't want to be a CEO of a company. I just want to run my shit. I don't like, you know, you can walk around and be like, yeah, I'm a CEO of Illogics. Like, no, that's corny. I don't want to be a CEO. Like, you're not this trad stuff. They got to stop, bro. If it's not your life, don't act like it is, bro. I don't want to be in charge of no big ass organization. I don't. Fuck that.
This is the time we're in. It says she has an undergraduate degree in political science and international relations from Arizona State University, according to the biography on her site.
Random, I think Candace got piped. I'm sorry. The way she's acting over Charlie Kirk and just talking about Erika is insane. I think Charlie Kirk got to fuck the black white girl that he always wanted, and Candace just got to indulge in the popular white guy that she've always wanted, because her husband ain't popping in the streets. Maybe he popping in the pockets, but he ain't popping in these streets. She got to pop the white guy that's popping. And Charlie Kirk got to have sex with a white girl that was black. I'm sorry.
And now that Kirk has been appointed, just 2 of the 16 seats on the Air Force's Academy boards are vacant. Set to be appointed by President Trump, so that means he's about to put some more people in there that don't qualify. In the House Minority Leader. USA Today has contacted the White House to ask for details on who else may be appointed to the board and when. Man, like I said, this administration is a whole joke. Like, they are just
full
Trump
joke.
is just throwing people any and everywhere that they are not qualified to be in.
Yeah, and I'm learning more about. I ain't learned more. The little bit I've seen about Mark Wayne Mullen, I'm not gonna say he's not from what I said, I don't think he's unqualified. He seems a little unhinged. But the thing is, like Homan. People had a problem with Homan because he was really serious, but I think Homan is competent for his job. Like for what he was under Obama too. Like Homan just, I don't want people to think because Trump picked somebody in a position, therefore they're not qualified, but they could be a sycophant. That's true. I don't know if Mark Wayne will be a sycophant for Trump. Probably because Trump picked him and he learned his lesson after his first term that he got to pick people that's going to do whatever the fuck he says. But the difference between Mark Wayne and Christie is I don't see, from the little bit I've seen and heard and learned, I don't think he's going to be as reckless. If he was strong on immigration, on deportation, and that's what Trump want to do, I don't see him doing the coming out and saying that somebody's a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? I don't that American citizen was a terrorist. I don't see him doing asking ICE to go out there and do unconstitutional and illegal things to citizens. I don't see that. Could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I see more of what Tom Homan is doing, just being like on top of your job. More so, even if we disagree with what they're doing. I think he'll be more by the books. He definitely gonna spend $200 million on ads, but
remember when I talk about that Jeremy Carl, he got appointed to some spot that he's not qualified for, and he's up there trying to testify that white people are being oppressed. Then you got Kristi Noem, who got fired from a position that she wasn't qualified for, to put her in another position that got made up. And even if it wasn't made up, I'm sure she wouldn't be qualified for that either. Pete Hegseth, if he can get himself out of the bottle, he's not qualified for his spot. And now you're throwing Erika Kirk in a spot that even her husband wasn't qualified for, all because you're trying to keep.
Shout out to Tiger Jackson for the $2 super chat. DEI, don't entertain Iran. Hey. That was a good one. That was a good one. Don't entertain Iran. Facts.
His legacy alive. What is really going on here? I feel like I'm literally in the between the Twilight Zone and the Upside Down from Stranger Things. This is not reality that we're living.
I love when I get into a show and then I get to, I said entertain. My slow ass. Don't enter Iran. That's even better. Shit. That's even better. My bad, Tiger. Don't enter Iran. Thank you. But yeah, I love when I just get into a show and then I get to understand a reference to it, because I just started Stranger Things like last month.
Living in right now. But all the people that love to scream out DEI this and DEI that as it pertains to black people, I want you to show them this video. Share it far and wide, because this is literally the definition of DEI right here.
Yeah.
And
it's not, I know what Torian means, but it's not the definition, but it's what they think it is. It's picking somebody because of, I guess it's not how they look, but she's in the know. And she's in the in crowd. That's what the I is for. In crowd. Like, she's on the inside, so she gets the job because she knows somebody, because she's on the inside. If this was what's an example? Dave Smith's wife. If this was Dave Smith and he passed, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that should happen, but his wife ain't getting no position because Dave Smith don't have a relationship with Trump. But since Charlie Kirk had a relationship with Trump, Erika Kirk get it.
CRT and affirmative action. She literally fits the mold because again, when you look it up, the people who benefit the most from all three of those things is white women like Erika Kirk.
It is. It's quite poetic though that a white woman got this, like this. I ain't gonna say huge job, but like it sounds pretty up there if we're gonna talk about government positions, especially if you're just gonna give one to somebody. And it's just simply because who you know. And
the thing is, Erika Kirk didn't even have to be this name or this brand that she's made herself out to be off of the heels of her husband. She could have just been some run-of-the-mill person, and all she would have to say is, "I'm a fan of Trump." Notice that's who's getting all these government jobs. It's people saying that they're fans of Trump. Let this also be a I guess you could say a message out to Black MAGA. Y'all be the ones up there literally on your knees come up for air, talking about how much you love Trump, and he ain't give y'all a job yet.
Yeah, everybody thought Byron Donalds was going to get a job. Tim Scott, everybody thought he was going to get a position. Neither one of them got one. And it's just like, oh, okay. And then you got the fishback dude running for governor saying that, I think he said Byron Donalds was the man, the dude, James Fishback, his crazy ass, running for governor in Florida, is calling his competition in the Republican Party a DEI hire. Would you look at that? And he ain't even talking about people on the left no more. Now, if you're a Republican on the right and you support Trump, you get called a DEI. Now, I'm not saying everybody else is doing it, but I'm sorry. That's what Torian got, man. He got it up here.
So But
the fact that you could be on the right and support Trump and then you still get called a DEI hire is crazy, bro.
Terry, Xavier DeRusso, Rob Smith, CJ Pearson, and the rest of that ilk over there that love to say Trump isn't a racist.
And what's crazy about it is Byron Donalds has more experience than James Fishback. So what the fuck?
Y'all can say that till you blue in the face, but one thing we know for certain is that he is, and he knows he is. And two things we also know is you ain't getting a damn job.
Yeah. Good shit, Torian. Good shit. All right, y'all. That was Torian Rain Reloaded. If y'all want to sub, this is his channel. Relatively big channel. Torian Rain Reloaded. Rain, R-E-I-G-N. But yeah, man. Fuck Erika. Fishback is yeah, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. The name Fishback is crazy. Like, oh yeah, Fishback is crazy. I'm calling it now. Erika Kirk making an OF account win all the fame. Yo, you know what's crazy? If she did, it would go crazy. If Erika made OnlyFans, it would go crazy. And that's what's so funny about this. Like, these conservatives love to act like they're above, like, women sexualizing themselves. And I'm guarantee it's a large amount of them that's on OnlyFans. It's a lot of them that pay for prostitutes. You see Grindr goes down when fucking TPUSA is in town. I've heard stories like Erudite was saying how when she was at, I think she was not TPUS. Yeah, she was at Amfest. She said those conservative men was all on her. Like, Erudite is liberal as liberal gets. She wears freaking cosplay and corsets when she goes out in public. And she said them conservative men was all in her face. All in her face. Like, they need to stop with this bull. Like, that's the problem. Like, I'm not saying you can't hold conservative values, but it be the facade. Like, y'all go out here acting like I don't want these women. You're supposed to stay in the house and be a kitchen. Kyla will argue with anybody all day and night, and she said they couldn't get enough of her. They was all in her face saying, "Oh, you're fun," and blah 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 blah. It's like, well, maybe if you guys stop being so fucking get the stick out your ass, you could have fun too in life. Jesus Christ. He was caught touching tadpoles. I heard, yeah, it is. I don't like this. It's credible. It is credible evidence of him involved with a minor. I didn't look deeply into it. I know when Tara Palmieri interviewed him, she showed the screenshots of he was trying to deny it, but it wasn't a good defense. I think he was involved. I don't know if any of y'all in Florida, y'all need to stay on his ass about that shit and everything that he stands for, because he's a piece of shit. If you're in Florida, y'all need to make sure that man do not win governor, because I'm hearing he's competitive right now. To my understanding, he's competitive. Why'd I make you think of what? I mean, they can't help themselves when they look at her. They can't help themselves when they look at her. Just look at her. Yeah, watch. Exactly, bro. Like, they love, what's good, Sandy? They love liberal women. They like, you can't, like, it's just, the thing is, I don't even know if it's just necessarily liberal. It's like they want women that's probably pretty. And if you're pretty and then you're liberal, they'll make some concessions just to get in where they fit in. They'll be like, she's hot, man. She's wearing this cosplay corset, but she's hot. Like, it's just like, and it's just like, all right, bro, we don't care, but y'all the ones that pretend like you do. That's the problem. We don't care who you like, but y'all want to pretend like that shit matters so much. Right, Random? Because they're more willing to experiment and try things. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my God. Oh, Random, you just made me think. Like, I think I'm going to pull this up so we can look at it. Just a section of it late after this. After we do this Sneako and Tate thing, I want y'all to see this lady called Dr. Daff on YouTube. I don't know if y'all know. She had, like, Kyla on. She had what was it? Feminist versus anti-feminist. And if you just look at the disparity of how these women dressed on both sides is super like jarring to see the demeanor, the dress, the language of the women on each side. And one of the conservative women was like, I mean, look at y'all. Like, one of the conservative girls was like, I mean, look how you dress. Like, why would any man want you? She was like, I get men all the time and I fuck them all the time too. I was like, it was so crazy. I'm gonna go to that after this. Y'all just got to see the disparity. And then what was crazy is the conservatives was like almost all black women, and then the liberal was almost all white women, which was kind of crazy too, because they act like all black people are liberal. Well, we know it's black conservatives. We know that. But you would think in their mind it would be the other way around. And I don't know if Dr. Daff did that on purpose or, that's just how the cards fell. But, But before we get to that, we're going to see what's going on with Tate and Sneako, even though we kind of know what's going on. They not cool. And apparently Andrew Tate came out and is telling why he don't mess with Sneako no more. And apparently a large chunk of it, the reason is because Sneako's gay. Sounds like some bullshit, and Andrew Tate is too old for this type of crap. But let's see what he got to say.
So it seems he's gotten
Did this nigga got a cigarette burn on his arm? What is this?
self-exposed, and all these revelations are going to come to light. So I'm going to tell you a very factual story. I'm not Gossip Girl. I'm not here to insult anyone. I have no personal vendetta against anybody. I'm not mad at anyone who's ever insulted me. I'm just a guy. And I'm just here to tell the version of the story as I lived it. I'm just here to tell the truth. That's it. I'm just going to tell you some facts. A few years ago, there was a streamer, I think everybody knows who I'm talking about, who was obsessed with me. If I got a girl's number on Fresh and Fit, he tried to do the same thing. Every single thing I did, he copied verbatim. He tried to be me, literally be me.
Okay, I'm not trying to stop and interrupt quickly, but to me, if you finna call him gay, that's a big sign that he's not gay. And second, Sneako is significantly younger than you, so it wouldn't surprise me that, early 20s guy is looking up to somebody in his mid 30s to emulate him. If he looks up to him, that's not shocking, but okay.
He was obsessed with me. And I thought he just wanted to be famous, and that turned out to be a homosexual obsession. He came to Romania with two people who I respect very much, Myron and Fresh, great guys. They managed to convince me to allow him to come. He came there and started acting really fruity and really weird. He started telling me that he had this cuck thing that was exposed. He had this big cuck scandal. And he asked
Sneako never called it a cuck thing. Like, I know that's what everybody say, but Sneako himself would not say this is a cuck scandal. Stop.
What I think about cucking and if it's normal to explore your
Oh
sexuality.
my God. Tate is lying. Okay. I just had an epiphany. Do y'all think that this is all just for clicks between, like, this is Andrew Tate and Sneako are just like, y'all know how I've been playing with like Random and Watch, where I've been saying like, y'all, we finna beef so we could get these numbers up. Do y'all think this is all fake? Because clearly Andrew Tate's clout is dying, if not dead. Sneako is back on YouTube, so he's doing better, but he's also trying to get his rep back up because he's not where he used to be. Do y'all think this is all fake? Because this isn't believable. This isn't even a believable story. This isn't believable. And it just blew me because it's just like, first of all, when I saw it in the first one, I'm like, this is stupid. This don't make no sense. But now I'm just like, I don't even know if I believe this. Like, if the thing is, I believe a lot of these not a lot. There's some of these red pills guys that's DL. I don't think Sneako is one of them. I think Sneako is not. If I had to say the top 3 people that's in the closet, Sneako is not one of them. He's not even top 5 out of all these guys that do this. He's not even top 5. It's just like this not believable to me, and it's kind of irritating because now I feel like I'm getting caught up in like a drama TV show that I'm thinking is real.
And if I've ever tried it, and I said, look, I'm older than you, bro, and I've never tried that. I don't think that's normal. And then he started saying, isn't it normal just to try new things? Don't you think it's normal to be curious? How?
See, by the time he met Tate, though, Sneako was out of his liberal phase, I guess, or whatever. Sneako was full red pill. He wouldn't, I don't see that being the conversation that he has with Tate. By the time Sneako was up with Myron and clearly going to Romania with them to see Tate, he was way past that thing he did with his girlfriend where they was trying to swing. I don't call Sneako a cuck. I know that's the joke, but that's not what he did. Y'all know, I like words. I like using words correctly. Sneako wasn't cucking, and I hate when people just use this word for everything.
You know if you're really gay or not unless you've tried being gay. And then I realized he was coming on to me. And when I realized he was coming on to me, I thought the best thing I can do is just not talk to him anymore. Because I don't like this gossip girl stuff. I don't want to be a drama merchant like he is. My brand isn't sitting online and constantly insulting other people like his is. So I thought, let me just cut him off.
Well, oh fuck. Just hit too many buttons. Sorry, y'all. This is, that was awkward.
A few years ago, there was a streamer. I think every single, he just wanted iron and fresh, great guys, and really weird. He started telling me that he had this cuck thing that was exposed. He had this big cuck scandal.
Wait, that's not the video I was just looking at. I'm sorry, I hit a button. This isn't the video I was looking at because it said it was 5 minutes, but now it says it was 2. Or is it because I watched 3 minutes?
A few years ago, there was a streamer. I think everybody knows who I'm talking about, who was obsessed with me. If I got a girl's number on Fresh and Fit, he tried to do the same thing.
Where's the video I was looking at? Because that video was 5 minutes, and now this one's 2. What happened? Bro, what's good, O? Bro. How? What happened? Yo, the video was 5 minutes, and now the video I'm looking at is 2. It wasn't meant to be. Stop.
A few years ago,
I just went back on my stream. This little prime hate tag was not there. Or was it? No, it wasn't there. How the hell? Yo. How did this happen? I don't know what this video is. There's a tag on this video now that wasn't there. The video was 5 minutes, and now I'm looking at a 2-minute video. I don't know what happened to the video that I was supposed to be looking at. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't even know why the fuck this just happened. It was a 5-minute video, and now all of a sudden I'm looking at a 2-minute video for some reason. Okay.
Revelations are going to come to light. So I'm going to tell you a very factual story. If you're really gay or not, unless you've tried being, let me just cut him off. He's obsessed. Because I don't like this gossip girl stuff. I don't want to be a drama merchant like he is. My brand isn't sitting online and constantly insulting other people.
No, gosh, he wasn't talking about cucking. He was swinging. He was swinging. He was like going to be with another girl. She was going to be with a guy. It's not the same. That's all I'll say. It's not the same.
Like his is. So I thought, let me just cut him off. He's obsessed with me. He's a bit weird. I don't want to ruin the guy's career. Let me just go his own separate way. Since then, he has mentioned me every single day in every single stream he does.
Appreciate it.
Andrew Tate wore a gambling t-shirt. Andrew Tate drove a car.
Yeah, I
Andrew
do got a nice solid core group that that's usually gonna be here.
Drunk coffee.
to rock.
Andrew Tate this. Andrew Tate that. He is obsessed with me. And if you see the way he talks about me, you can see in his eyes. It's not because he is morally superior. It's not because he just wants clicks. It's a homosexual rage, which is
What?
suppressed.
This is
Guys,
y'all. I don't. This is not. This ain't real. This isn't real. Like, I don't believe this. Either Andrew Tate is just making this up for clicks, or him and Sneako have plotted this together to get clicks. It's one of the two. Nobody's serious. Andrew Tate's not serious. Whether he plotted with Sneako or he's doing this on his own and Sneako is gonna respond, Andrew Tate's not serious. This is a cartoon character right now on screen. This is not real. I'm clearly he's obsessed with me. Like, he has a homosexual crush. So who talks like that? Who talks like that? This isn't real. It don't feel real.
God.
And then you saying this after how many years because he made you look stupid because you snitched on him and you the OG of the group and you snitching on niggas. You snitching on the OG snitching on the young nigga. The OG supposed to go to jail. You live more life. You supposed to let the young niggas thrive and prosper. Alva, but that lends more credence to it being a plot. If Sneako could predict what Tate was gonna say, he's like a cartoon right now, for real, the way I paused it. This is like a cartoon sketch.
I don't like saying this. I feel uncomfortable making this.
What I will say is, I don't know how the fuck they do it, but these niggas be like in random spots making their videos, and the lighting and the positioning all be nice and shit, and the camera quality is like, damn, bro, fuck y'all.
Video. I wanted all of this to go away. I just said, no, I'm not gonna fuck you, bro.
He said
Get
tastes
out of here.
readable.
I just tried to ignore the kid for 5
Shout out to Hugo XGC for the £5. Remember that Tate used to say that Sneako could take over the red pill after him, but as usual now he wants to talk like nothing was there. Yeah, I do remember that. He was saying it would be Sneako. It's just, that's even more reason why I think it's fake. Oh, man. Putting him in the burn book. Oh, man, I don't know. It just, even if you distance, if him and Sneako was legit not cool no more, calling him gay just seems so trash. It's just so weak. It looks so weak.
More money, more money, more money.
Shout out to Letitia for the $5 super chat. You know Andrew Tate is making that up for clicks and views because ain't nobody talking about him. He is the lame like Myron. That's what I'm saying. Like, my first mind is that he's lying. I think he's lying. This is just not this. And I mean, like, lying. I don't mean he's like embellishing a story or think that this is actually true and he's telling his real truth. I think he's flat out lying. I think none of this happened at all. And it's just a full-blown lie. And I don't know if Sneako's in on it or not, but Andrew Tate is not telling the truth.
fucking years. Here we are 5 years later. He won't stop talking about me. And if you watch him do it, guys, watch him do it and look in his eyes while he does it. It is a suppressed homosexual rage.
Why do you know what a suppressed homosexual look like? Suppressed? And you think the first thought is coming on to you. At least with Myron, we see him with other men all the time. Like, we think Myron gay because he hates women and is always with a man in his picture. He looks happy with them at all times. And it say Sneako does admire you. He could just literally look up to who you are as an individual. You say he's lying. He just wants to be petty. It's not like this is the first time he lied about Sneako. He's a gossip queen. Yeah. But my concern also is if he is lying, is Sneako in on this too, or is Andrew Tate just really just desperate for attention? Is Andrew Tate this desperate for attention, or is Sneako in on this?
He is enraged Now he's Muslim LARPing. He's Islam LARPing. Constantly LARPing about Islam.
I actually don't think he's LARPing. That man has learned Arabic and shit like that. I don't think he's LARPing.
While being gay in private and
I think Sneako is profoundly confused, but I don't think he's not actually trying to be Muslim.
taking drugs in private, as opposed to me, who keeps my faith private and my internet. He keeps his faith on the internet, and in his private life is completely haram. So we can discuss which one of us
Oh, Justin, I have a video that I'm actually going to do on that. I have a video I'm doing that. Somebody in the comment section inspired me to make a video on Myron's allegations.
is the real Muslim
I'm gonna do
if
a
we want to
video.
have that conversation. But I live in an Islamic country. I live in Dubai. He lives in New York.
So?
You know, he walks around during Pride Month in New York.
How you just going to put that on him? What the hell are we talking about?
Guys, I really didn't want to do this video, but it's all coming to light. I woke up this morning with a few text messages from people who know very well saying, is it true that this person does these things? And I'm like, oh,
These are lies. These are lies. This is lies.
About to blow up.
We're just going to go on with this, assuming Tate is lying, and just figure out why.
all over the internet. I said a long time ago to Sneako once on one of my emergency meetings, I said, don't come at me, bro, because I could have ruined your career and I didn't. I am the nicest man. If he had this kind of information on anyone else, he'd post the screenshots, he'd sit there like a little girl, he'd do a full breakdown, he'd talk about it for years. I'm the top G, because that's who he is. I've known
If Sneako felt like you had dirt on him, why would he go around calling himself the top G? Because you not. Why? If Sneako felt like you had dirt on him, why would he call himself the top G?
he's gay forever, and I didn't care. He came on to me, it was weird. It's going to come out what he
If Sneako,
More money.
shout out Letitia for the $5 super chat. Let's make this clear. Andrew Tate hangs with the younger crowd. He really wants to be relevant again, and he can't take it because he's old, bro. Yeah, like this is what I'm saying. Like this is so sad to me. Like I now I'm starting to think that Sneako might just be a casualty in Andrew Tate's climb to fame because I guess he probably assumes that Sneako won't A, do anything to him physically, and B, doesn't have anything on him to get back. He can't pull this with Myron because Myron's too big in the red pill in America and all that. He can't pull this type of stuff with Myron. Myron got too many people behind him. It wouldn't work out. That would ruin everything. Myron's the face of the red pill. I think he feels like that Sneako is an easy target within this, and he's using him to build clout for himself. He's trying to draw people away from Sneako. He can't take them from Myron. He's trying to draw people away from Sneako, and he wants them to follow him again because he's fallen off. This is my guess. This is my theory. Because this is ridiculous. This is the most You're the oldest person out of these people, and this is the most childish shit I've ever seen before in my life.
he's really been up to. You're going to see he's not a pinnacle of Islam. He's not a pinnacle of morality. He's very far from it. And that's why I had to stop talking to the guy. So I'm making this video now just to make it clear that I rejected him.
I think my point was going to say, if Sneako was in the closet, I don't think he is. If he was, he would not come on to Andrew Tate. No, you know, it's like, if he was, he would not approach Tate. Like, that would be career suicide. And it's just, this is so stupid. Tate's the modern day real life version of the Fonz. Oh my God.
said no. That's why he won't stop talking about me. That's why you can see in his eyes he is so angry. That's why I am the content of his entire life. That's why, because
What?
I said no to the kid. I hope he, works it out. I wish him well. No matter how much he insults me, how much he wants to be me, he'll never be me. He's never respected like I am. He'll never achieve the heights of fame that I achieved. He'll never surpass me.
Right, Alva. That's how Myron's secret's been on the low for so long. Myron know where to find them. But yeah, man, if Sneako was down low, they wouldn't be like, yeah, let me come on to Andrew Tate. This is ridiculous.
In any realm, no matter what. So I really, truthfully wish him the best. I didn't want to make this video. I'm only making it because it's all coming to light now, and I want everybody to see that, once again, Tate was right. If you see Tate do something, it's
What?
because he's right. If you watch my entire career, all I've done is predict the future flawlessly. I stopped
Oh my
talking
God,
to him
well, that's
years
not
ago
true.
because I knew he was doing drugs. I knew he was gay. I knew he was going to BDSM clubs and doing all this kind of weird shit. I
the
didn't want
hell
to be
is
hanging
wrong
around
with
with
this
some little fruity
dude?
nigger who's getting tied up by dudes and bumped. I thought that's
Hey,
weird.
did he just say the hard R?
I didn't want to be hanging around with some little fruity nigger who's getting tied up by dudes and bumped.
Why he say
I
the
thought
hard
that's weird.
R?
I ain't
What
hanging.
the fuck is he? Is why did the hard R come out so naturally for him? That's so weird. That is so weird, bro.
Around with this guy who's going to sex clubs in New York, getting tied up by dudes and ass fucked. I'm not doing it. So, here's the truth. That's the reason. I'm not going to talk on this again. He's going to tweet about me and talk about it for the next 200 years, and you're going to see the rage in his eyes, the suppressed homosexuality.
Reaper.
That's a him problem. I'm busy winning. That's my version.
You're winning. Stop. You're attacking a 27-year-old streamer.
Story. So when you see all this crap come out about him, I rejected him. I said no. And there's going to be some other people who are exposed that perhaps said yes, but I said no.
That was weird. Okay. Let's see Sneako's response, I guess.
Tate calls himself.
This is Sneako's response. I'm assuming this is his. Wait, I think it was the one where he had the green shirt. Oh, so this is I'm pretty sure this is his response from that video. I'm pretty sure.
So you're going to spend 5 minutes. What are you going to say? You're going to call me gay? That's what you got. That's the big reveal. Years of threatening to end my careers. You're going to call me gay? Bring up fake pictures and then leaked images that I sent a girl when I was 17 years old.
Now, if that's real, that's crazy. If that's real, that's crazy.
You're going to tell your Clippers to post underage pictures of me? One, that's a crime. And two, half of those things are fake. Then people are going to say, oh, you did gay porn. I didn't do... These are... Half of these are fake, and the other ones were sent and leaked, and people, they face consequences for that. Obviously, this is embarrassing. I don't want to keep talking about it. It's over 10 years ago.
Fair enough.
Not my best moment. Not proud of that. Yeah, did I think that girl was going to leak it? No, it is what it is. It happens. The difference is, if you're going to bring this up...
Yeah, that's fucked up. Now, if he legitimately got leaked pictures, that's fucked up.
Tate literally did porn. You know that, right? He literally did porn. He brags about it. He goes on the Full Send podcast, brags about typing on the keyboard under the desk. This is what he did.
Okay, wait. Now, Sneako, what? That's not what? That's not an example of doing porn. Why would he say that? These people are stupid. I'm sorry. That was stupid. If you were gonna say you're like, yeah, he did porn. Damn, for real, I didn't know if he did porn. I don't care, but if he did it, what's the example? Yeah, he was, when he said it on the Full Send podcast, he was behind the keyboard and typing for them. That is not porn. Sneako, what is wrong with you? I was rooting for you. Like, what's happening, bro? Granted, what Tate... No, you're right, Tyrone, but it's just like, what Tate actually did is worse than porn, but it would be, it wouldn't go over for his crowd because, he condemns that. Even though he supports it, however that works.
Should he be, held accountable for this? No, he reverted, and we believe that past sins are forgiven. But this is the guy who's going to say that I'm gay? A guy who...
No, yeah, he said he was acting like a woman as he texts, but that's not porn. So I don't know why he just said he did porn, and it was like, yeah, he was typing on a computer.
Literally did porn and brags about it. I don't know if he's ever repented for that. It's fine. We're supposed to assume the best of our Muslim brother. It's Ramadan, But this is the person accusing me of being
obsessed. He does have a sex tape. I didn't see that. He should have mentioned that if that's the case, if that's true.
Obsessed and gay. The guy who said that, I'd rather sleep with Megan Fox with the dick than Hulk Hogan with the penis.
Yes, he just said it wrong. He just said it wrong. But yes, he did say that. Andrew Tate said he'd rather sleep with Megan Fox with a dick than Hulk Hogan with a vagina. And honestly, he's just supporting the left on the idea that sex and gender aren't the same, even though they're closely connected. All you're doing is you're saying that gender is totally separate to sex, and then secondary sex characteristics matter to you. I don't know if I'm doing anything that has a penis involved, though. But don't give me no Hulk Hogan with a vagina either. That's all I'm saying.
Are you mad because people are posting videos of you shooting a gun? They all call you Zach.
Yeah, he said that like he was super straight. It's like, I don't know, bro. Because honestly, the Hulk Hogan with a vagina thing is just a closer argument to just a guy having like a one-night stand with a very unattractive girl because he just salty that night. Like, nobody, we all, like as men, we'd be like, yeah, we get it. She was pop, but you know, it was a drought out here. We get it. But if you be like, yeah, man, she was fine. She had a dick, but you know, she was fine. And you'd be like, bro, even if she looked like Lauren London, like she had a dick, you'd be like, yeah, she had a dick, but she like Lauren London. It's like, okay. like, no, bro. It's like, if that's your thing, that's totally different. But you can't pretend to be one thing and you engage in another. That's all. I don't care what you do. I don't care. But Tate, that wasn't the W you thought it was, bro. No, like most men will take an ugly girl over a pretty one with a penis. I'm sorry, because it's just two different things.
Jesse, what is this cope? That's what you got.
What are you trying to accomplish?
That's how you're gonna end my career? He's gay. That's it. I'm not a gossip girl, but I think my gaydar goes off for him. We're at war right now. We're at war, and this.
Oh God, Watts! I just thought about your comment section. Sneako, stop! We're at war right now, bro. Cut it, bro. If you're gonna say that, don't address it at all. If the topic of conversation is we're at war, it's like, well, then don't address it at all, because nobody like stop.
This is what you talk about.
He said, bro, why are you telling me this?
Does anyone buy this? Does anyone find this? Like, what evidence do you have? What proof do you have? We have text messages. Leak it all. Show it all. I don't have anything to hide. You've already tried to dox my family. You amplified it yourself, which goes far past the line, and something that I would never.
Did that actually happen? This seemed like Sneako trying to be a victim now. I'm not saying Tate didn't do that, but where and how did he dox your family? I'm not saying he did not do it. I'm just saying, like,
Never do.
Listen.
And I never advocate for, and I don't want. Obviously, that's understood that you leave those people out of it. But if I had anything to hide, it would. Bro, you think I care about this guy?
Yeah, this
the goy who has tech teams in Israel? Bro, I have intelligence agencies after me. There's a coordinated attack. People are paying influencers to slander me. This is not like this.
Nah, I don't believe that.
Who?
Like, I don't. These people be so full of themselves, like him and Tate and Corey Holcomb. Like, why do y'all think that people are paying people to talk about y'all? This is like, that's such a waste of money. That is a pure waste of money. Like, if say there's a company that has the money to pay a creator to talk about you. The problem with this whole theory is if they're going to talk about them, it has to be something valid to actually discuss. So if it wasn't something reasonable to discuss or critique you on, then it's just going to fall flat. Like people have made so many hit pieces that just fall flat because it's like, this is not good. Like, you thought you was doing something and it's like, nah, this ain't it, because you're not doing good at it. But if you actually engage in some shit that's worthy of critiquing and somebody does it and does it well, to say like, people are paying people to talk about me. What? Like Corey's stupid ass. Bro, you have so many weird ass jokes about kids. Why do you think somebody needs to pay somebody to talk about you on that? You just never going to sit back and be like, man, maybe some of these jokes was a little wild. No, that will never cross your mind. Like, these people are so delusional. Like, I don't want to sound like the old guy in the room, but I'm so glad I didn't grow up on the internet, because this shit is weird. This shit is just so, like, to me, it's just unreal. I can't put myself in their I can put myself in their shoes, but it's just so hard. It's just so, it seems like it's a very tall task for me to, even if I grew up on the internet, to just think that even if I was like a Sneako level creator, like, to think that people are getting paid to talk about you as if you haven't engaged in behavior that people will critique is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Kai Cenat tries his best to stay out of trouble. People still talk shit about him. I bet you he wouldn't even say people are paying people to talk about me. I'm sure I'm sure that Kai probably like, this is so stupid. Like, I'll be trying my best to stay out of trouble, and motherfuckers still got bad stuff to say about me. And I see it, but my first thought is they getting paid to talk about Kai. I think it's just people probably just trying to have a unique take and just do some stupid shit. Like, that's all it is. It's people, people are trying to come up off your name. I would agree with that. Like, some people trying to come up off your name, for sure. But getting paid to talk about you, nah. Like, motherfuckers still be under my video talking about I'm getting $7,000 from Israel. Bro, I have not one video talking about that damn conflict. I don't have one video talking about it. Talking about I'm getting paid by Israel.
Does anyone care about the?
Yeah, if I had $7,000, y'all would know. Well, not really. But regardless, $7,000 will do a lot for your boy at the moment.
This is how much the fall off is. And this is hopefully the last time we have to address this. He's so desperate for at any glimpse of clout because he tried to get the Muslim out of side and everybody.
PTJ, but it's different. You didn't, like, your formative years wasn't on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Your formative years wasn't the internet. And the internet 30 years ago was very different than, like, you know, it's like, it's dramatically, like, the way the internet started and where it is now is changed dramatically too. So it's not like you can really, you know, scale it in a way that'll encompass the way you grew up. You know, if you've been on the internet for 30 years versus being on the internet for 15 years versus being on the internet from being on the internet for 30 years right now is far more beneficial to me, in my opinion, than being on the internet for 17 years, but you've been on it since you were like 5. Like people, Sneako ain't been on since 5, but his formative years is in the internet. He probably started at 13, 15. He's like 27 now. He barely been on the internet he ain't even been on for full, like, 15 years. I don't even know if he's been on the internet for 15 years. But since his formative years was on the internet, it's done so much to him that he thinks people are getting paid to criticize him. Like, that's scary. It's so scary.
He sees that it's clearly not his priority. Last year
he said we don't get the offers. Right. Why? Like, somebody offer me please offer me somebody to talk about Sneako. Please. No, but the thing is too, let's say it's true. If we're gonna grant that it's true that people get paid to talk about them, just like the whole Tenet Media thing with Tim Pool and Lauren Southern and Lauren Chen and all of them, if y'all don't know, Tim Pool was getting paid by Russia, but he didn't know it, to do Russian propaganda. He didn't even know. All they do is going to pay somebody that's already doing the work for them. They're not going to convince somebody that didn't have these opinions anyway. It's too much work, and it's not necessary. If there was a brigade to bring down Sneako, they're going to go to people that's already talking about you and has no problem talking about you and believe what they say, and they're going to be like, yeah, keep it up, friend. Keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they did with Tenet Media, paid Tim Pool because he was doing Russian propaganda before he got approached by Russia. So it don't make sense. Just like when they be so mad about, like, PACs, you know, funding certain political certain politicians, they're going to people that already agree with them. They're not 9 times out of 10 they already on the same side. 9 times out of 10 they're already on the same side. And we could have a conversation on how ethical it is. I'm not sitting here saying like it's 100% okay, but that's the truth of the matter. But that's a different conversation for a different day.
He was saying they're coming to slaughter your daughter, and it turns out that person with the knife attack was Christian born, and he was not even an immigrant. He was born in the UK. And then riots started afterwards. He aligned with Tommy Robinson, Tommy Rubenstein, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, who Jeffrey Epstein himself said was a cheap whore for England. Andrew Tate aligned with that guy, a literal enemy of Islam. Everybody saw it, and everybody knows where you stand on that. Fine. Okay, you want to say past and forgiven, fine, but you're aligning with the literal enemy of us. Then you try to get the white supremacists on your side. White supremacists are totally right. They don't respect you. They think you're a good little house slave speaking up for them. They don't like you. They don't want you. You think that they want a mulatto guy who claims to be, who says he's Muslim, speaking up for white people, saying slur? You think that they're going to like you because you say slurs? They think you're stupid. You turn yourself into a clown. What are you going to do now? Content? What are you going to do? Fight? Do a boxing match? Boxing with Chase DeMore? What else are you going to do? Politics? You get everything wrong. You say you don't read. How are you going to talk about geopolitics when you say that reading is gay? So where are you going to go from here? Petty drama? This is what you got? This is where your platform went to? Escaping the Matrix has went so low to calling me gay? That's what you're going to
He talking about Andrew Tate.
do?
Okay. So you know what, y'all? I'm gonna be completely honest. The problem, the reason, what I see, Sneako has so much more potential than he's using it for. That's all. That's really how I feel. Like, I think, excuse me, in another world, Sneako could be way more. Could be bigger. I think he'd be far more intelligent in a different world. Oh, this is totally out of nowhere. So wait, y'all can't wait. No. Y'all, who is this? I'm not even gonna say it. Y'all look at this face. Who is this? And look what he about to do.
Okay, new scene. Haley and Jamie getting out on the.
Why did he do that so well? Why did he do that so well? Why did he do that so well? Yes, Smooth. Yes. I'm sorry. Michael knows. I'm sorry. Stephen Miller? Nah, it's Michael knows. It's Michael knows. Yes. Like, humor aside, why is this a craft that you've mastered? Why is it that you was an actor and had, I don't want to say, I don't know if he had more than one gay role. I know he had a gay role at minimum for his acting career. Why? Like, these people, I'm not saying you can't grow up and change. I'm not saying he's not really conservative, but I do think that there's a chance that Michael Knowles might be gay. Like, this is never a thing I've ever seen in my life.
Haley and Jamie getting out on the.
I'm sorry, it's just never been a thing. And I think Michael Knowles is slightly younger than me. I think he's just slightly younger than me. I was gonna make a short on that. That's why I had it saved. I was gonna make a short on that.
Magazine.
Oh, so it says Sneako reveals everything Andrew Tate threatening to expose him with, calls him out for doxing his family and speaking about him more than Ramadan, despite claiming to be Muslim, then proceeds to tell his own fans not to dox Tate. And then they got the B Rabbit C. I think Michael Knowles is I do think Michael Knowles is gay too, though. I ain't gonna lie. That was another check in the book of why I already thought it, though. Yeah, Daily Wire Michael Knowles, bro. Yes, not Beyonce's dad. Not Beyonce's dad. Okay.
I know what he's gonna.
More money, more money, more money.
Shout out to Letitia for the $5 super chat. Andrew Tate will never take accountability for anything because these young guys is not going to kiss your butt. Yeah, like, I'm sorry. So I don't even, to me at this point, I don't even know if it's a accountability thing. It's just like he's so caught up in himself that he doesn't care about collateral damage. He doesn't care about his reputation. I think Andrew Tate is such in a jam between all his court cases. He can't he can't be in America. You know, I think he can make a lot of moves in America, but he can't be in America. He got court cases coming up. He's trying to sue people that's criticizing him, like Gadget and shit. Like, all this stuff, he needs to do whatever he can to make some money. I don't even think it's about accountability at this point. Like, he don't give a fuck about accountability at this point at all.
Bring up. I already know what the tactic is to be. These people are easy to read. I didn't want to address on stream. I'm going to address it before it happens. Maybe people will clip it up. What he's going to do, he's going to bring up
1,000 See, look, this is proof. 1,000 retweets, and I'll finally explain why I had to stop talking to him. Tate wants attention. First of all, is Andrew Tate still Elon. So, yeah. 1,000 retweets, and I'll finally explain why I stopped talking to him. Like, he wants attention. He wants attention. That's what's happening. He wants money. He needs it. He's desperate. He's hurting. But this is the only way he can do it. I think, because Andrew Tate, imagine if Andrew Tate came out making a video like, you guys just sit, I have a GoFundMe. I just really need help. All these court cases are really getting to me. You know, I can't do an Andrew Tate impression. I'm not good at impressions, y'all, so I'm Andrew Tate. you guys, I need help. I'm really in a bad situation. These court cases and lawyer fees are piling up. I can't, all my Bugattis, I can't sell enough to make enough to pay off these lawyer and court fees. I need everything I can get.
More money,
Shout out to Sandy Navy for the $20 super chat. Andrew Tate needs to grow the F up. Precisely. Because that motherfucker, like, it's just so sad. Like, this is like clavicular type stuff. Clavicular makes himself the butt of the joke. Except Andrew Tate is making himself the butt of the joke, but he's not being as obvious about it. He's not being coming to the forefront with it. But he's clearly making himself a joke at this point. Because, like I said, him saying 1,000 retweets and I'll explain, that is the equivalent of y'all, I have a GoFundMe and I need y'all to donate. That's what he's doing, but he's doing it in a more subtle way. He doesn't want to full on admit that he's hurting and he needs money. He's gonna farm engagement in every way possible so he don't have to actually beg his supporters for money. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening right now.
Clips from a podcast from like 5-6 years ago where I was
Thank you again, Sandy.
a stand-up comedian at the time, and we were joking, and on streams joking about like, oh, have you ever thought about being gay? Yeah, it's a joke. The other one they're gonna bring up, there's
All right, I ain't grew up in that. I'm not. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. That's a joke to me, but I don't think we have a joke like that. But it's a different generation.
fake pictures going around where people pretend that there's these, like they say that you did gay porn. Most of those pictures are fake. The other ones, I was 17, and there are leaked photos that I sent to a girl that leaked online. They're fake. And people post that, and they've ran with this lie. The pictures that have circulated are not real. The other one, there's, and of course, I never wanted to talk about this stuff. It's embarrassing, but it got leaked, and then the person got arrested. It wasn't part of like this shoot or this magazine. This was private stuff, and it was posted when I was 17. And that's circulated around. I already know what he's going to do. And then he's going to also show modeling pictures because I used to model high fashion for Burberry and Nike. That's what he's going to do. I guarantee you. And so he's going to bring this up and then try, oh, he's gay.
Oh, so this was before Andrew Tate made that. Okay. This was before the Tate. So I guess he got his 1,000 retweets. So then he told his little story.
But he's not going to talk about what my platform is used for this anti-war position, for not wanting to get my country to go.
I agree, Letitia. That's what I agree. I said that too. Like, even when I think back, as somebody that's 35, even when I think back to when I was 30, I'm relatively different. And from 30 to 26, I'm totally different. But even from 30 to 35, like, 30 is young. People act like once you're 30 you're old. Like, 30 is young, and you can change a lot. And he's not even 30 yet. Again, a lot of people don't like Sneako. I'm not saying he's a victim. I'm not saying I feel bad for him, but I do think this is unfair. I don't have to like Sneako or agree with him to think that this situation is unfair. And if Tate is doing this just to build clout on his name, that's weak.
For Israel while he lives in Romania. Talk, oh, Dubai, they're clout chasers. But this is what they have. It's character assassination. I already know what it's going to be. Guarantee you. But also, what he might even do is go further and talk about people in my personal life, which is completely crossed the line. And it's time and time again, it's the people that are closest to you that you've defended the most.
Yeah, that's why people this is in the corner, Justin.
Went to back and forth with Moist Criticals because I was defending people that I thought were my friends. Tate, I probably got banned and my reputation changed forever because of the Manosphere Association, the Red Pill Association, because I was defending him so much. Look at what he's doing now. None of that was reciprocated. And to my face, Andrew Tate says no issue, shakes my hand, and wants to do a video with me in New York. Then the club thing happens. It goes.
That's making me lean more into thinking that Sneako is not in on this and Andrew Tate is just trying to clout farm, because that was public. Like, he supposedly made up with Sneako, and then he turns around and snakes him out like this.
And tries to throw me under the bus to ruin my character.
You
try to ruin my career. No, and I see people in the chat, you don't stoop to their level. That's what they want to bring you down. They want to demoralize you so that you don't keep speaking the truth. You got tech teams in Israel. I'm going to stick on this. I'm not going to get into these petty battles. I don't advocate for any doxing. I don't want anybody to stoop to that level and go there. Don't do that. We're better than that. This is love speech. This platform is used for something greater. I'm trying to get to the truth. And it's Ramadan. You're not supposed to spike your cortisol. This is a very holy time.
Oh my God.
Ramadan Kareem. Someone like Andrew.
This spiking cortisol shit. Alva, it's not even that, like, it's not grace in the sense of like, oh, he's still growing up. It's just like, I don't think this is the end for Sneako, and that's all. I just don't think this is the last form of Sneako. That's all I'm saying. That it's not that like, oh, I think he make a 180. I don't know what to expect, but it just from seeing how he's developed over time, it just seems like I'm just gonna watch and see what happens. That's it. To be honest, that's it. I'm not supporting him, or I don't hate him more than anything. But it's just I'm just watching. That's it.
Tate, he calls himself Muslim. He's gonna talk about me, and he's gonna try to assassinate my character more than he's ever said a word about Ramadan. Talk about immigrants slaughtering your daughter. Hasn't said one word about the holy
slaughtering your daughter
time for Muslims, and especially right now when there's literally a war on Muslims. People in our government are saying Muslims don't even belong in our country. Congressman. And yeah, this is nothing new. I have nothing to hide. I never committed a crime. So they want to go there, man, then they're going to go there.
All right. Is that the last one? Yeah, that was the last one.
I know what he's going to bring up. I already know what the tactic is to be. These people are easy.
That was the last one. So I think my final verdict is I think that Andrew Tate is full of shit. I don't think any of that is true in the slightest. I think he's using Sneako to build more clout off for his name because he's fallen off and he needs money. He's kicked off a lot of platforms. He clearly can't engage in the sex trafficking he was doing. His money has gone to shit, so he has to do whatever he can without openly asking for money to get money. That's what's happening at this point. He's like, fuck it, Sneako's getting thrown under the bus. I don't know how he answers to Myron for this shit. Justin, I do see there's a multiverse that I see Sneako being liberal. There's a multiverse where I see that. Like, I'm Doctor Strange with the shits. I definitely see him sticking to this. There's a world. I think this is two things. You could say I'm kind of copping out on these two things. Sneako's in his later 20s. He's about 26, 27, right? I think there's a world where Sneako goes to about like if Sneako don't go liberal by the time he's 33, he's gonna keep riding this conservative shit, but he's gonna be tame about it. Or Sneako is gonna go liberal, but not like he's not gonna be never far left. What's good, Allie? He's never going to be like far left. But Sneako will be liberal and just probably not boast about it, but be like, yeah, I think a lot of this stuff was stupid. You know, when I was young, when I'm 30 now, I just realized people could do what they want. He kind of already says people could do what they want, to be fair, but he'll probably be less judgmental. It might be a cop-out prediction, but I'm not making no extreme claims. That's it. I get you saying I don't feel anything but pity for the kid, but with how indecisive he is, hard as change, like he's start being better in defense of weird shit. Like he starts being better than in defense of weird shit. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm just watching to see what happens. So before we get to this Dean and Stephen A, I want y'all to just see a little bit of it. I guess we'll go to the most replayed part of this Dr. Daff interview with the feminist and the anti-feminist. I don't know what's at this part. It's the most replayed part, but I want y'all to see the exchange. I hope that part where she judged how they were dressed in this section. I hope we can get that. It was a lot. Matter of fact, it's two different videos. I don't even know if this is the right video, but this I ain't gonna say it. Y'all know who the conservatives and who the liberals is. This is the way everybody came dressed is just so telling of their personality. It's utter hilarious. It's just like let's just look at this image for a second. Look at this image. Like, which one's the liberals, guys? Which one's the feminist guys? Which ones are the anti-feminists? Like, it's just so interesting. Like, shorty got a turtleneck on to the foot. She got the wide leg pants. Oh, and then like they're all either black or mixed. I don't know what this lady is. I don't know what she is. But you got black woman. She look like she mixed with black, and she like she mixed with black. Then you got all white women. Like, it's just so intriguing that this is what happened.
Women as much joy and fulfillment.
This was a very contentious thing too.
As raising children. Okay. Oh, maybe someone who hasn't spoken. Go ahead.
I'm a Christian, so as much as you guys know all your statistics and everything about things, it's more that it conflicts with my Christian belief so much, right? So I believe that we're here to reproduce. That's one of the things in the Bible. The first thing about men and women is that they were brought together, and then it was to be fruitful and multiply. So I think one of the most valuable things we can do as women in society is to continue reproducing and grow up.
Yeah,
and
it feels intentional, but I don't know if it was.
That's really important. And then I'm kind of seeing how this generation is being raised
that you didn't get not one white conservative woman or one black liberal woman.
A lot of single mother households and
like
stuff.
She didn't even get Naima. Maybe Naima couldn't show up or something, you know.
And so I really want to.
Yeah, random. It just feels so intentional. But I don't know. I truly don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe Naima couldn't make it, but I think Naima could have been here.
Prioritize bringing back the nuclear family, men in the homes and us in traditional roles, and that's my belief.
So I said yes, but it's with a huge caveat, which is that both genders report greater life.
I want that part where she said, "Look how y'all dressed." Matter of fact, y'all got to see that exchange. That's what I really want to see. That's what I really want to see. Damn, what was the word she used? Damn. I don't know. Maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not this video. What's this, part 1? It was probably part 2. Maybe it was part 2. Okay.
You would rather serve capitalism than serve your man, the man that was put here to.
Hey, this girl was pissing me off. She was so wrong about everything she said, but was so serious and strong about it. Ugh. They not dressed wild. They're clearly just liberal, but they not dressed wild. No, they not. Only women should make laws about women's body. White women benefit the most feminists. There's no shame in having a high body count. Fuck. Did I try that word? Oh no, the fucking it's not even up no more. Oh, here it go. I found it. Yes. So we got to hear this exchange. When she talked about how they were dressed. Because it's just so like, who do you think you are? And why do y'all, first of all, if a man walked in this room and seen her, she's pretty, but it's not more attractive because you have on a turtleneck and a long wide leg pants. Like you're not like more attractive than anybody else because you have this on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not gonna be the factor where it's like she got on a turtleneck and some wide leg pants. That's the woman for me. That's just not how we operate. Like if you're pretty, you're pretty. If you got the personality, you got the personality. That's what it come down to. Like we don't like just because her arms is out, it don't mean she's not gonna get picked over you because you got on a turtleneck. Like, come on, this is ridiculous. And well, I can't even say arms is out because their arms are out. But you know they got on a full blown she looks less approachable, right? She seemed like if you walk up to her, she seemed like she gonna be like, "What's your credit score?" Like I don't know. It just seemed like she just gonna ask you the most odd question that you don't need to be asked upon approach. You know what I'm saying?
Married at a higher rate. Is that what you guys think feminism is? Is it just don't marry? I mean, it leads to
a smile would help. Facts.
Not getting married because men just don't like masculinity. Yeah. They don't like
so you think
women
you're a feminist, you're masculine?
I mean, like you can take a look at this.
If you think you're a feminist, you're masculine, and they like, yeah. It's like, what? Come on. This the only girl that admits to being like really masculine. She admitted that she's very masculine, but it's ridiculous.
row of how these women are dressed, they're dressed very feminine, all of them. And then look at you guys.
I'm sorry, you're not dressed feminine. Like first of all, everybody's dressed quote unquote feminine except for purple streaks. Other than that, everybody's feminine. There's just different versions of it. And I don't even know if she believes that when she says that. I don't even think she believes this. It's no way you're looking at Kyla and think this isn't feminine. This is how they used to. This was a form of dress at a different point in history for women. You know what I'm saying? So, like, come on. Justin, stay tuned. I'm doing a 4-hour stream where I am going to do a tier list for that. Stay tuned.
And I'm not.
What did I say hours? Did I say 4 hour? I feel like I said 4 hours. 24 hour if I didn't say it. If I said 24, that's what I meant. 24-hour stream where I'm going to do a tier list for that, Justin.
You got your dress on. I'm not even, and this is not a dig at you guys. It's not a dig, but
it is. Justina. I forgot. I'm sorry. I know we had this conversation. But yeah.
Look at this row of how these women are dressed. They're dressed very feminine, all of them. And then look at you guys. And I'm not.
And she say, and then look at you guys as if they look crazy. If a man walked in this room, I'm not saying they're going to run to the left or the right, but if a man walked into this room, he's going to look at faces and demeanor before the dress. Now, unless you just look like crazy, like unless you just look like you got dressed in the dark, then that's totally different. You know, and like somebody just said in chat, it's also a preference thing. Some men don't mind you wearing this all black covering of everything you have. But some men also want to see some skin. He's not less of a man because he likes it. This is just not the man that you want, and you're not the woman that he wants if he wants to see some skin. You feel me? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, both sides look completely fine. Everybody just has a different freaking style.
You got your dress on. I'm not even, and this is not a dig at you guys. It's not a dig, but it is. But it's just to say
that is a dig. Why that's not a dig. That's literally a dig.
Men are more attracted to that. You know?
What do you mean? Who are you speaking for? She thinks she can speak for all men on earth. What is she talking about? This is stupid.
That is insulting. Yeah, men will put their in what they can put it in.
She ain't lying.
But they will marry.
She just sat here and looked at all of us and said, "Oh, this is what men want."
I mean,
Ceci was over it. Yo, Ceci was blue, pink hair. She was so blue with them women. This whole she was getting real amped up because they was being ridiculous. A lot of stuff they said was ridiculous.
The reason that I said it benefits white women more, I don't even think.
It depends, Justin. It depends on what point of this. I might have somebody help me depending on, I don't know what time I'm going to do it. I got to plan it all out because it's 24 hours. You know, Watt said he'll help hop on my stream and stuff. I got some other friends that's going to hop on, so it just depends.
I don't think it benefits women at all. But if
you want to hop on, that's fine.
So like Margaret Sanger starting Planned Parenthood and abortion. She was part of the eugenics movement. So she wanted to kill black babies.
If you want to hop on and help me do it, we'll schedule when you're free and we could figure that out.
So that is part of the feminist movement, was to get rid of black women's babies and the black population. I think this actually speaks
and that's such a big misconception of Margaret Sanger. I don't want to get into that, but that's not true. It's just not true. Y'all got to look it up. Margaret Sanger was not trying to get rid of black babies. She wasn't.
Really well, I forget your name. I'm so
Maggie.
sorry. Maggie.
Yeah.
Maggie was saying this as well, and it's something I echoed, which is that there's a really big problem that happens in our tribes where we don't want to look at the bad things that's associated with them. And I totally agree with that, right? I look at that and I'm like, I think that's great. I like Simone de Beauvoir.
Their
for lots
version of
reasons,
femininity
but I don't
is not
love
better.
Everything. I don't love everything that feminists do, right?
Dex,
when I say
I don't
that
know
I'm
who
a
you're talking
feminist,
about.
it's because the ideology, which I would label as feminism, is for the promotion of femininity and like the advocacy and empowerment of women. I think that that's good. So look at the third wave of feminism, which you're probably going to.
Okay. Why is she looking like this? Okay. Oh, God. It just depends on which wave of feminism you're talking about. That's all. Purple Streaks. I don't know her name. I don't know that woman's name. Dex, you said it's only, what you call her? Joss? Only Joss? I don't know. It looks like it is. It looks like that is her, Dex. Only JS. It looks, yeah, that looks like her. Yeah, that's her. Okay. Yeah, it's different waves of feminism. That's what it really comes down to, you know. Who auntie is that with the James Brown? Will you, John, ain't stop? She sang the James Brown curls. Oh my God, the disrespect, bro. The disrespect. The James Brown curls just fucking kill me, bro. That was
27
funny. Oh man, because now that I can't unsee it now that she said James Brown, I can't unsee it because that didn't even cross my mind until she just said it. Auntie feel good, man. Look, Auntie can feel fine, but she was diminishing them feminist women. And again, I don't know. I think if you just I don't know, man. I think even if you sat a conservative in that room, let me not say that because I don't know how they brain really work. But it seems like the way they were speaking was just not appealing. But I guess I'm not conservative, so I guess I can't. Of course, to me, it won't sound right. But the message wasn't for me. You feel me? So, all right. Next, we're gonna get into this. Dean Withers. Y'all should know who Dean is. He's a debater, Gen Z debater on TikTok and YouTube as well. He debates on TikTok, but he posts on YouTube. Pretty knowledgeable, not perfect. I got a lot of criticisms of Dean, some on this video. But I think he, for the most part, knows his shit. And he talked to Stephen A. And I'm super curious as to how that conversation went. And I don't know. This was 2 weeks ago, and it went past my radar. But yeah, let's see.
27 minutes past hour number 1 back here on Straight Shooter with yours truly, Stephen A. coming at you.
Lay, you right. That probably is That is Maggie. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. Oh my God, you're right. That was Maggie because she said that's her name. Y'all, do y'all remember Maggie that worked with Pearl? She was always on Pearl's show. She was the older black lady that told the women how to be so they could be married and stuff. I freaking forgot about her. She claimed she had a husband but lived with her boyfriend. Wait, she had a husband? Oh, well, I mean, I'm sorry. She claimed she had a husband but was boyfriend. Fam, if y'all know Pearl about two years ago when she was still in the UK, she had like regulars on the show. She had I think it was Auntie Jenny, the lady. I think she was British too. She had she was from there, and she had locks, I think gray locks. And then she also had this Maggie lady that was American on her show all the time too. And like Lay just said, she had a cooking show where she helped her figure out how to just trying to teach her how to be a trad wife, a housewife or whatever. That's what she was trying to teach her. And it just hit me that was her. I got to look at that through a different lens now. Oh, man. Do not remember Maggie, but she is now wearing suits. What you mean you don't remember Maggie? You just brought up.
I love to do every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over the airwaves.
Unless you meant you don't remember Auntie Jenny. Unless that's what you meant.
Of Sirius XM, POTUS Radio, Channel 124. It's my honor and privilege to have my next guest. I've been waiting to talk to him. He's just 21 years of age, 21-year-old liberal political commentator with more than 8.2 million combined followers on social
only
media
21?
and over
Even 22 yet?
105 million likes on TikTok alone. Matter of fact, I think the number eclipses 9 million. His daily political and social live streams on YouTube and TikTok have made him the Gen Z face of politics. Please welcome for the first time.
No, that's Adam Mockler, bro. Don't get it twisted. Adam Mockler is the face of Gen Z politics. My mama told me, my mom and dad, I went home with that. It was like, you know that boy Adam Mockler? I'm like, yeah, he know his stuff. They was like, he know his stuff, man. He's sharp. They was like, he's sharp. I was like, yeah. I was like, Adam Mockler be on it, man. I told him, like, y'all know he from Indiana. He right next door. You feel me? I'm like, Adam right from next door. And he live in Chicago. I told him, like, Adam live in Chicago. I told him I'm gonna meet him one of these days because he be collabing with UFA, and I'm gonna take a picture with Adam and I'm gonna send it to my mom and dad.
I'm the Straight Shooter with yours truly, Mr. Dean Withers.
Not Dean put on a suit. Fuck that. that. Man, hey, I don't care where. Hey, if I'm going on anybody's show, I'm not changing how I look, bro. If you ask me on my show and you see how I present myself, that's how I'm coming, bro. I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a graphic t-shirt. I'm wearing some JJK shit, and I'm keeping my characters right here. I don't care. That's who I am. If you ask me on your show, that's what I'm going to be. Now, he can wear his little suit, but he don't ever wear no suit on his show.
You, Dean, how's everything, man? Good to see you. How's everything?
He like a Muppet.
I'm having a great day out here in sunny Colorado that happens to be a little bit snowy today, but nonetheless, I'm enjoying myself. It's good to be on, and I appreciate you for inviting me to be here.
Man, please, the pleasure is all mine. I'm looking forward to learning something from you tonight, my man. You know, you grew up, correct me if I'm wrong, you grew up in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Yeah, Alva, I literally, that's the video where I criticized the hell out of Dean, is when he did that doxing shit. Like, that's the video that kind of made me like, bro. But I will give him grace because he's really young. But him and Parker are audience captured. I hope they get out of that, though. I hope they do. I'm holding out that they could get out of that, but they're really young.
Colorado, correct? It's in an extremely conservative household. How did you become engaged in politics? And
no, his suit fit, PTJ. It fit.
Your perspective
I think it
shift
fit
to a more liberal ideology.
That's a good question because, as you pointed out, I absolutely did grow up not just in a conservative household, but a conservative environment, you know, going to church 2 times a week and everybody around me kind of having the same thoughts as my parents. So, I mean, the branch off to liberalism for me really started first on J6 when I watched, the president, who's still the president today, Donald Trump, cause his followers to go raid our Capitol, literally smear their feces on the walls inside, which kind of in my mind sparked this thought of sparking division across the country. And at that point, maybe I still agreed with some of his policies, or at least thought I did. But inevitably, because of how divisive that presidency was, it really drove me away. And, since J6, of course, that's 2021 until now in 2026, I've spent my time reading, researching, and really have taken an initiative to learn more about not just the world we live in, but the government in which controls the policy that influences my life and the lives of those that I care. And to put in a nutshell, I think I'm on the left because reality has a left-leaning bias.
Please respond to that part, because that last part is a good topic to jump off of. Let's see.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I guess what I'm asking is, do you find yourself being...
No, they still could get belt to ass, Alva.
...on the left because you're against Donald Trump, or because you genuinely feel what liberals feel?
I'm sorry. I feel like that question is beneath Stephen A. Like, I'm starting to feel like Stephen A is like a fucking imposter, because that question is ridiculous. I did see that, Lay. Wise, I'm guessing you feeling how I'm feeling right now. That question was just so absurd to me, and it just seems like I'm not a journalist. I've never took a day in any course of a journalism class in college. I have no journalism experience. I'm telling y'all right now. That question is stupid. It was just not a good question. And the only reason I'm making a big deal out of it is because this is Stephen A., the guy that's, he's good at his job, all this shit. Like, yeah, sports is his thing. He's trying to go more into politics. That was such a stupid question that I just can't even wrap my mind around how the fact that he thought it was just okay to say publicly. Like, I could see you jotting down maybe what question you want to ask, and you scratching something off, but he kept that one. He kept this question. No, Tron said it's not an absurd question. It's an open. I thought fucking you, Tron. You asked good questions. It's an opening to a logic chain that Stephen A. wants to go down. So, which would further indicate that he has a train he wants to go down. He's not just talking to it. To be honest, I feel like that's a train you could get down without even trying. I don't know. It's just. You don't have to be liberal to be against Donald Trump. That's the thing. Like, to me, it makes me feel like Stephen A. thinks that if you're liberal, you're against Donald Trump, and if you're conservative, you support him. It's just kind of like you don't have to be liberal to not support Donald Trump. I'm not saying there's a shit ton of front-facing people on the right that don't support Trump, but there's enough of them to where you can understand that Trump is kind of different than just being a conservative. He's different than just being a Republican. So, because he's on the left, it's not because... All his values, if you watch his content, everything he argues religion and shit. everything he doesn't, well, he used to. He used to argue religion more. He's gone to politics now more. But he used to argue religion. Like, these are generally left-leaning ideologies. So why would you think that his whole existence of his political ideology is just to be antithetical to Trump? It's just weird. It just makes me feel like Stephen A. never really watched Dean. And if he hasn't, that's fine. But that was not a good question. If you know Dean's content, that's all.
Policy-wise.
It's a mix of both. I'm on the left because I agree with how liberals feel, and I mean a lot of the points that we see being thrown around about the necessary nature of things like universal health care, about caring for everybody, about how social programs influence the drive to push our country forward compared to holding us back because poor people are lazy. On top of the social issues that I care about, such as the acceptance of everybody regardless of your sexual orientation, race, or gender. But right now, I do spend a lot of my time talking about, the tyranny that we see downstream from the Trump administration. And honestly, today I feel like what it means to be on the left does include, these policy initiatives that we've been hearing people like Bernie Sanders talk about for years now. But it also includes, this very deep-rooted resentment for, the abuse of power that we are now all watching every day, either on our phone screens, on the TV, or maybe as you are, maybe some of your producers out there in DC.
Do you blame Trump when you're talking about the abuse of power? I shouldn't say do you blame Trump, because I know you do. But I'm talking about, is it just him? Is it primarily him? Or do you have more of a concern about those who, dare we say, are lacking a spine when it comes to confronting him about some of the things that he does? See, for me...
Wait. I need to get that question in whole.
Or do you have more when you're talking about the abuse?
They're in D.C.
Do you blame Trump when you're talking about
the
abuse
Why it's
of power? I shouldn't say do you blame Trump, because I know you do. But I'm talking about, is it just him? Is it primarily him? Or do you have more of a concern about those who, dare we say, are lacking a spine when it comes to confronting him about some of the things that he does? See, for me...
that's not even a bad question to me, but it's just a weird one coming from Steven. Because I get, I'm upset with the Democrats not having a spine. I am. But that's totally... it just doesn't go with Trump's abuse of power. It just... Those questions don't... Especially when the Democrats don't have any power right now. Democrats can't do shit. Like, there's nothing Democrats can do besides shit like Gavin Newsom did for his state. So there's nothing you can really do in Congress to thwart Trump at this point. So yes, I agree that they do lack a spine. Like, I think there are small things they could do, like protest more as a whole party, don't show up to the State of the Union as a whole. As a party, walk out at the one he is the first State of the Union he did or whatever. Just, I think there's things they could do, but in the world, but that's a totally separate thing to me than Trump's abuse of power.
I think more about that than him, because I believe that anybody...
And see, that's weird. To say you're more worried about them lacking a spine than Trump's abuse of power is crazy, because the Democrats don't have any power to do anything. Not anything legislatively. Like, maybe they can make a spectacle, yeah. And that's where I think they should take advantage, because you don't have any political power right now. So they need to make more spectacles, because that's all you can do. They don't, and I think they do need to be more unified in that. I agree. But that's not more pertinent than the fact that somebody that half this country elected to be the president is abusing their power, and then he's still got a sizable amount of people that still support him.
In a position of power, unfortunately, throughout history, has shown that if they can wield it with impunity, they will do so. It's usually the checks and balances that we have in place as the United States of America, where you're checking cats and you're saying, you can't do that. We're not letting you get away with that. We saw more of that
this is so weird.
Past. We certainly don't see enough of that now. That's where I look at when I'm looking at Congress and the Senate, obviously, when it comes to, the checks and balances that I believe have been minimized, to say the least.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with you there. I think this equation definitely includes a condemnation of those who capitulate. But of course, that all starts with what they're capitulating to. I think that two things can be true at once. I think that the primary driver of a bunch of lawlessness, and as I'd call it, clearly authoritarian practices, is the Trump administration. I mean, every day something new comes out about how they are illegally redacting his name from the files 950,000 times, or how he wants to breach the articles of our Constitution to possibly federalize elections, or how the 14th Amendment is now meaningless. And, you know, we don't care that in 1868 we passed this amendment that gave you a claim to birthright citizenship if you're born here. Now, if your parents are undocumented, guess what? We're going to take it away with no approval from Congress through a new amendment or no reinterpretation from SCOTUS on the basis of the 14th Amendment that already exists. But those who capitulate, they definitely embolden those proclivities. They embolden those behaviors because it absolutely tells Trump that he could get away with it. Trump is the same man today in 2026 that he was in 2017 during his first term, right? And for the majority of his first term, with the exclusion of January 6th and the lead up to that, you know, we didn't see the same figure that we do now. We saw somebody who was newer to politics, didn't know how to select the right cabinet to find the right people that are willing to place him above the Constitution, so on and so forth. So I feel as if that capitulation from his cabinet and the capitulation from many people in Congress have definitely emboldened those behaviors that existed 10 years ago that we just didn't see to the same extent because of the lack of capitulation.
Did they, Sandy? If that happened, that's news to me. I did not know that.
As a liberal commentator, what about those on the right that make the argument that you kind of brought it on yourself, not you, the Democratic Party, when they talked about how you...
I don't like how he kind of don't acknowledge the answers and he just wants to ask his next question. I don't like that. Like, I know that you need to leave room to have a back and forth. Like, it just he let Dean talk, and then it's like, so what do you think about it? And it does follow, but it's not a response. You're not responding to what Dean said. You just like asking the next question, and that's not satisfying.
Weaponized, you know, the justice system in pursuing.
See, he just talking about this is all about the weaponization of justice system. He didn't even respond to what Dean said.
When they talked about how you weaponized, you know, the justice system in pursuing cases against him, you were excessive in doing so, and as a result, him being back in office and engaging in what I've personally called a vengeance tour, you know, against a myriad of people, all of whom you know, the John Boltons of the world, the Letitia James of the world, Jack Smiths of the world, and others, of course. What about the role that liberals are accused of playing in it? Because when they had power, they certainly did everything they could.
Hey, Dean for to wipe his ass down on this one.
To try and undermine him, if not flat out throw him in jail for the rest of his life.
He can't predict NBA finals. You think he finna go anywhere near the Oval?
Well, I mean, if wanting to hold a criminal accountable for their crimes is now something that the right is outcasting, labeling as bad, and using as justification for more.
It's just so crazy how Trump actually got found for crimes, and they be like, "Oh, you were using the legal system against him." And if they got that fucking document, the Mar-a-Lago case on him, with running around with them documents, oh, that was an open shut case. That was an open shut case if they got to get him in the courtroom for that. That was open shut.
Crime. I would seriously doubt the speculative basis that those on the right have been screaming and shouting about law and order. Listen,
Sandy,
the claim that we see
I didn't know
from
that.
millions of Americans that the Biden-Harris administration somehow weaponized or abused the DOJ against Trump is baseless. It is just a form or a piece, a figment of this big lie propaganda that we've seen distributed by the Trump administration in an attempt to get larger populist support for their lawlessness. And a really good example of just how baseless it truly is what we've seen coming from the DOJ in the last year and a month with the Epstein files. I mean, there's a couple things from the Epstein files that we know makes Trump look bad. Okay, we know if it was present and publicly available before the 2020 election would have inevitably led to less people voting for Trump. Could have even won Kamala Harris the election. But because the DOJ upheld such great respect for the independence of the DOJ from the Biden-Harris administration, because that's what the Biden-Harris administration upheld, they didn't dip their hand into those files and just release the ones that incriminated Trump because they respect because they respect the checks and balances, because they respect that separation. And anybody who would claim otherwise, I believe, is just disseminating the propaganda that has allowed for this lawlessness to occur.
What do you
say? Yeah, that's the thing. He finna ask another question and not respond. This is so boring. Oh my God. Yeah. That's the thing. Everybody's like, Biden, why didn't Biden do it? Why didn't Kamala do it? And it's like, bro, the president isn't supposed to be entangled into what the Justice Department is dealing with. You could place more blame on Merrick Garland if you want to, but Joe Biden's job isn't to be like, hey, what's going on with those Epstein's files? Release them. Like, the shit is ridiculous. Again, I'm of the mind that these people were overplaying what's going on with Epstein, and now they've created a mess that they can't get themselves out of. I think that there's plenty of names involved with Epstein, but not necessarily wrongdoing that people are going to be like, oh, if you're naming, just like they're trying to say Jay-Z was involved, and it's like, oh, his name was just something within all the information that they have. There's so much information that's just meaningless within files of something as egregious as what Epstein did. There's so many, especially with the resources he had and the people that he knew. You know a lot of powerful people. You know a lot of rich people. I'm not saying that that everybody besides Epstein is innocent. I'm not saying that. But people just think that if you went to his island, you did something with kids. Bro, you think that every time Epstein opened up his island, it was for kids? You thought he let hundreds of people that were rich come diddle kids on a regular? And that would go under the radar forever? Like, well, it didn't go on the radar forever. But if that was happening, it wouldn't be every celebrity that ever touched down on that island or ever flew on this plane. It's just not a good strategy to keep up a crime. So these people, like, even like Parker, he'd be like, yeah, if you was on that island, I think you did something. I'm like, you think at every waking hour that he was always doing something illegal on that island that he owned? I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just not likely that every waking hour that island was existing and he was there, that there was some illegal activity going on necessarily. Not necessarily. They pretend like there's no world where Epstein might have just had a regular party, invited celebrities, and they went home afterwards. There's a world where people just didn't know what was going on. I don't think that's unreasonable. But these people pretend like every single person that set foot on this island, if Jeffrey Epstein ever spoke a word to you, you diddled kids. That shit is weird to me. Some people, I'm not saying there's majority, but there's people that act like if Jeffrey Epstein, like we've seen Hillary Clinton's testimony and people are still thinking Hillary's lying. I don't think Hillary's lying whatsoever. Hillary was not lying. Hillary was not lying. She probably, if she met Jeffrey, it wasn't in an extensive meeting. She never partied with. I don't think she's lying. We know that Bill was on bullshit. We know Bill Clinton was on bullshit. So why wouldn't Hillary be in the dark? Why wouldn't Hillary be in the dark if he was on bullshit? It's not even no evidence of Hillary being on that island or having a close personal relationship with Jeffrey. So it's just, and I think that once we saw Hillary testify to the House, I think that was enough to let you know that, like, yes, there's probably people that knew Jeffrey Epstein that had nothing to do with whatever he was doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that might just be me.
Say about your party.
Smash that like button.
In terms of them losing the election. Why do you believe Kamala Harris and the Democrats lost in 2024?
Yeah. Steven don't want a conversation, I guess. He just wants to ask questions. It is what it is.
I'd say the largest reason why Kamala Harris lost the 2024 election had a lot to do with people's,
No, it's Joe Biden's fault. Most of the reason she lost is because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Feelings directed towards the economy.
Okay, no, that's a good answer. After that is Joe Biden. The feelings towards the economy, he's right. The feelings towards the economy was the biggest reason. And then when you get into the politics of it all, is because Joe Biden decided to run again after that.
And it performed too well under the Biden-Harris administration, which of course would be, in my mind, predominantly caused by the pandemic. And a lot of people have this takeaway saying, well, the economy is really bad under Biden. It seems like the liberals are failing my bank account. They're making me stretch my money. So now I'm going to vote for this other guy that says, if I do vote for him, he's going to usher in this golden era economy. It's going to be great and we're all going to win, which of course has been proven to not be true in the last year and a month. And then a couple other things that I'd say helped Trump win the 2024 election, my apologies, has to do with how late Biden stepped down.
Yes.
And
that's what I'm saying. That's the order. That's the order. It is the economic position we were in at the point. People just feeling things and not understanding why they feel those things. They just blame the president, which is faulty, but You know, that's just what it is. And then Biden waited too long. He shouldn't have ran, not waited. He shouldn't have ran again. Biden shouldn't have ran again.
How Biden left Kamala Harris only with a little bit over 120 days to throw together a presidential campaign to run against a man.
Wait, he said 120 days. Ain't her book called 107 days? He said something a little bit over 120. Am I tripping? Ain't her book called 107 days?
Who's already
She didn't even have the 120.
Spent the last 10 years of his life campaigning for that same office. And it's a combination of multiple factors, those being the two primary ones.
But wasn't that the party's fault? Couldn't they? I mean, if they got...
Obi, man, I swear, like, the more that I think about this day in and day out, I really do think that sexism played a big part. But the reason I can't fully lean on it, well, no, not sexism plus racism, because she's a black woman, because Hillary got the popular vote. Hillary got the people wanted Hillary. More people wanted Hillary. But I think it could be her attachment to Bill, because people love Bill. I think if Hillary Clinton was like not Hillary Clinton and just a white woman running for president that had experience. Say you had the career that Hillary had, but not married to Bill Clinton, like all of the experience. I don't think they perform as well against Donald Trump in 2016. I think there's a level of her name carried her a lot to get that many votes. Kamala is one of the most tenured, experienced politicians to ever run for president and couldn't beat a 34-time convicted felon that didn't do anything in his first term, that had no experience in politics prior to his first term. I think that says a lot. And I do think that racism/sexism played a big part. Men like a woman, fuck that. And then she's black, fuck no. They don't. Obama, and then you hear a lot of these people on the right, Megyn Kelly, who else? Somebody, I forgot who else. There was somebody else I just saw recently. It's like at least 3 people that I've seen say like, well, ever since Obama was president, he's divided this country. I'm like, wow, go figure. How many presidents have we had? I don't know the number. What, 50, 40, 47? Yeah, because Trump made the thing. 47 presidents. The one black one caused divide. Go figure. 1 out of 47 presidents is the reason the country's divided. Huh. That's funny. That's hilarious. I'm weak in the knees. I'm cackling.
Rid of him in July. Couldn't they have gotten rid of him earlier? Couldn't they have got him to step away earlier? So again, there could have been a primary. You might listen, I don't want to say a better candidate because I don't think Kamala Harris ran a bad campaign. I thought her disastrous moment was on The View when they asked her, is there any...
That was bad. That was bad. I felt it in that moment. It was like, what would you do different from Biden? And I knew the vibe, but the country wasn't fucking with Biden. She was like, I wouldn't do anything. I was like, I was like, this is not good. I knew, I'm like, that was not good. I admired the loyalty to your president, but she was in a very bad position, period. She was in a bad position. Well, I get what you're saying, Obi, man, but 47 terms, I guess, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Anything that you would change? She's like, no, I can't think of anything. I thought that was a disaster. I thought that was a huge mistake on her part. But for the most part, I didn't think she campaigned badly at all. I just thought she had to.
I think she did. I think Kamala did what she could in the time that she was allotted for that campaign. I think for the time she had, the situation, the card she was dealt, I think Kamala did fine. It wasn't perfect, but it was really good for the time that she had, I think.
With the cards that was dealt to her, but many members of the party could have facilitated her getting in earlier. Are you of that belief, or am I stepping out of pocket by saying that?
Well, I'm not necessarily fully opposed to that belief because I think we all remember Biden saying that he was going to be a one-term transitionary president, which of course that narrative changed.
Everybody that voted for Biden was like, all right, we gonna get you in here, bro, and then we gonna set us up for the next win, and he just fucked that up. He really fucked it up.
Running for a second term, then dropped out.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to that belief at all. I mean, I definitely do think that the Democratic Party has a lot to learn from the 2024 election, and I think that we are learning.
Yeah, I don't know why he did
just
that.
Look at the new figures that are.
Yo, showing Biden looking like that is crazy. Yo, when I was watching. yo, this is a crazy video to show Biden looking like that, bro. Oh, when I watched this, I was so upset because I knew that Biden didn't look good, but I was like, it's making Trump look fine because Trump is just saying he's talking a lot, even though he sounds like an idiot. But Biden just looks so confused. Oh my
across
God.
this country with the progressive likes of.
He's looking down with his mouth. I remember I was watching Destiny. He was like, oh, Joe, close your mouth. Just close your mouth. He's like, just close your mouth. It'll be perfectly fine if you just close your damn mouth. You'll be okay.
Zohran Mamdani in New York City to
look. Yo, this is almost as bad as Pearl when she was on that stage. It's fucked up when Biden performed better than you in a debate as an 80-year-old man versus a 28-year-old woman. But this is almost as bad as Pearl. Biden say, close your mouth, bro. Because I feel like they told Biden the same shit they told Kamala, but it worked better for her. Kamala was he's trying to give the look like, what the fuck are you talking about? But Kamala did it so much better, because she had age. So she was like, Kamala was like, she was able to open her mouth because she had more facial expressions. All he could do was just keep his mouth open and got one eye that's lazy. Oh, poor Joe. Damn, Joe. Oh, man. Toaster strudels. Oh, it was so bad. But I knew it was just terrible because I'm like, Biden's trying to actually say things meaningful, but it just was a terrible situation. And Trump is just up there talking and talking. He looks more up there, even though he's not. I'll take fucking Biden's ashes. I'm sorry.
People down in Texas, like James Tallarico, finally saying the truth and talking about the fact that billionaires are really destructive to the working class, and it's not undocumented immigrants or trans people, which is also, a little bit more progressive than the Democratic Party has been historically. I'm not opposed to those beliefs in the slightest.
Dean Withers right here with Stephen A. Straight shooter with Stephen A. Right now, I'm thinking about you because getting back to you personally, you rose to fame through your debates on Jubilee, if I remember correctly, a YouTube channel that hosts political and social debates with conservative figures like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro, and for videos like, Liberal Teen or versus 20 Trump supporters. What motivated you to create political content in the first place?
Random. Why?
Well, I would say it's just the simple fact that when I've interacted with friends in my own life, when I've talked to my family members, when I've went to school, when I've sat in the classroom,
Yeah, Curtis, but if Joe was just like 20 years younger than that, that's a world I could see that working. But Joe was just too old, and he was old. He shouldn't have done that.
Is a general lack of critical reasoning that is true of the vast majority of American constituents surrounding politics and why we vote for who we do. Okay. And I've seen the GOP primarily Trump, take advantage of this fact and construct harmful misinformation through the use of propaganda campaigns to convince people to believe in lies, hinging on the abuse of the lack of critical reasoning within the American constituent base. So the point of my platform and what I do is just to incentivize people to critically think more. Every day I have open discussions, conversations with people who disagree with me and I disagree with them. And I just simply request them to articulate the reasons why they support Trump. And I request people to value facts, reason, and evidence a little bit more, because I believe if we started doing that in 2015, Donald Trump never would have been president the first time around.
Do you consider yourself the liberal left version of the late Charlie Kirk?
Oh, please. Dean, please say no. And please explain why Charlie Kirk was trash. Please. I don't know what he finna say, but I hope he acknowledges how trash Charlie Kirk was at debating. Please. Please do not. I don't want him to he was talking about capitulating to the audience to sound like he's more balanced and try to. I'm not saying he is or isn't. I just hope he does not fold under trying to look reasonable to an audience and just straight up say that Charlie Kirk was terrible at debating. you know, it's fucked up that he died. I don't think that should have happened to him. But Charlie Kirk was not a genuine debater, and he wasn't a good one either. He was not a good debater, and he wasn't genuine.
Well, I've seen a lot of people say that on the internet, but I wouldn't prefer the title of the Democratic Charlie Kirk, because I think I'm a lot better at doing what I do than Charlie Kirk.
Thank you.
Kirk was at what he did.
Yes.
Explain
in the
why.
sense of
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, in the sense of I saw him go campus to campus to campus, not asking people to critically think, not asking people to open a book, not asking people to use their brain, but rather just asking people to fall for the one-liner gotchas and the same misinformation that's been tired and tried for years and years and years by the Trump administration.
Yes. Thank you. I know, like I said, audience capture is one thing, but maybe he's so captured by his audience that he don't give a fuck about the other ones.
I mean, you know, I've honestly really spent a lot of time
that
reflecting on this. You look at Charlie Kirk's Twitter. I would ask you to find me 3 times he ever disagreed with a single action taken by Donald Trump since 2015. You can't. I mean, I think it was just a larger part of a money-making scheme in an attempt to convince more young Americans to grow up to be like your 48-year-old uncle who will be with Trump until the day he dies, and starting with them young while they're still on the college campus. And that's not what I'm about. That's not what I do. I want people to be smarter. I don't want people to be sheep.
Yeah, you want people to be smarter. You don't want people to be sheep, and I totally believe you on that. But my question to you would be, how willing are you to disagree with a Democrat in Trump's position? And like you said, Charlie.
Well, we're not there, and Dean always talks about what he doesn't like that Biden did. They have a few things they don't agree with Biden on.
Charlie Kirk very rarely disagreed with Trump. Did you disagree in an abundance with Biden?
There actually was a handful of things that I had disagreements with Biden.
Now, he said a bunch. If you align with somebody for the most part, it's not going to be a bunch, but you got things you disagree with.
One big thing is I'm not the biggest fan of the state of Israel, and I think that it's time that we stop bowing the knee to whatever Israel wants whenever they want, and it's time that we stop seeing senators and congressmen and women winning elections running on I'm going to do what is ever in the best interests of the state of Israel. On top of a handful of other things too. I'd say right now, the fruits of the work that I and other more progressive voices that don't align 110% with the Biden-Harris administration or the Democratic Party have been putting in has a lot to do with immigration. I mean, 10 years ago,
good assessment, Curtis.
The notion of mass deportation maybe being wrong, and mass amnesty, the idea of maybe giving some undocumented immigrants a pathway to residency or citizenship, making sense, was radical. But I mean, anymore today, I'll have Trump supporters joining my stream, and I'll explain to them, hey, listen, we would be able to reduce human rights violations. We'd be able to keep families together. We'd be able to grow grow our own prosperous economy even more than we already are if we just maybe made some of the undocumented immigrants here residents or citizens. And they're biting on it. They say, hey, Dean, that makes sense. And I think the only reason why we're seeing the social shift on certain policies or agendas is because of more progressive parties that have historically diverted from the DNC. And I think now the DNC is finally starting to respond pretty responsibly to that by uplifting more progressive voices.
I have not heard your positions on immigration. Could you remind my audience what that is?
Sure. So I think that
I could be wrong, but I think Steven think he'd be like, I want an open border. Wait, what is y'all beef with Dean's suit? I don't wear suits, so maybe I don't know. I've worn suits, sorry, but that's not my thing either. I don't see the problem. It don't look too loose, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with his suit. I don't know what's the problem.
Is one of those topics that can't really be discussed by anybody.
The suit looks fine.
Like 30 seconds or less.
Well, maybe his button-up collar is a little too stuck in. I don't know. I don't see the problem with his suit.
And I think if anybody tells you they can, that can't really be discussed by anybody in like 30 seconds or less.
Why does it look crazy? What is wrong with it?
Discuss immigration or 30 seconds or less. They're just feeding you like likely partisan talking points. But in an attempt to condense it down to a nutshell, I mean, I think the way that we can very pragmatically reduce undocumented immigration into this country is by wiping out the incentive for 99.9% of it. I mean, look, 99.9% of undocumented immigrants are not violent criminals. They're not MS-13 gang members. They're hardworking mothers and fathers or unaccompanied minors. And why have they chosen to enter into this country with the use of undocumented means? Well, it's because our border has a backlog of like 12 years if you want to become a citizen. You're going to be waiting there for years and years and years just to get into the application process.
Yeah, I think
you
the
gotta spend
button up is more
thousands
of a
of
problem.
dollars. That system is unattainable. And I think that our Congress, for the most part, is culpable in a bipartisan nature with
Yes.
this
That's where I was going.
disproportionately leaning to the right, with not making the legal means of entry into this country as attainable as they should be. And I think I could prove this because you'll hear people like Trump say that we have this crisis of undocumented entry, illegal immigrants. We need to stop it now. But you can't find me a single clip of that man standing in the podium with a mic in the last 10 years saying that we need to make the legal means of entry into this country easier. And maybe that would stop a lot.
I think the shirt, like I said, I see the problem with the shirt collar, but it seems like y'all got a problem with the whole suit. The jacket looks fine to me. The jacket looks fine. I don't know if y'all know, like Dean is like skinny swole. Like Dean's not like Parker where he's just skin and bones. Dean works out, so he got like a little bit of muscle on a skinny frame. So like I don't know.
Of undocumented entry on its own. And that's just the border. I mean, this conversation doesn't even scratch the surface about the undocumented immigrants that are already here. But what I can tell you in 30 seconds or less is that we probably shouldn't be deporting them with no due process to a center for terrorists in El Salvador, where they're then tortured from 9 p.m. till 6 a.m. I think there's a lot of better,
I think the main problem is the shirt. I think that's what y'all are talking about.
Fair enough,
the
but what
shirt
level of
does look
culpability do
messed
you
up.
go towards the Democratic,
The shirt ain't
the
helping.
Democratic Party, particularly the Biden administration, when they said, I don't know whether they're accurate.
Yeah, maybe
numbers,
it's the
12
maybe it
million,
don't fit his
14
frame.
million, 15 million crossed the border illegally. What do you say to that? That people say that's not sustainable. That can't happen. That wouldn't happen in any other nation. Why should we let it happen in ours? What would be your response to that?
I'd give the Biden-Harris administration a good C- on immigration. I think that they're a lot better than a lot of people, specifically on the right, think. The talking points that I hear every day is, they opened the border or they just left the border open. They didn't really do anything about it. And I feel like this really overshadows their attempt to push a bipartisan border bill through the American Congress, drafted by Republican James Lankford, who is, one of Donald Trump's favorites. So it's crazy that we were able to find this bipartisan agreement that not only would expedite the legal means of entry into this country by funding courts along our southern border billions and billions and billions of dollars, therefore naturally disincentivizing undocumented entry, but it also would have given the president this very special authority that the president's never had before to just completely shut the border down, once a certain amount of undocumented immigrants had crossed it on a rolling daily average for a week. And in response to, this bill being propped up by the American Congress, in response to Republicans and Democrats coming together for the first time in a long time on immigration policy, I truly think people overlook how significant that was. Donald Trump turned around and told Republicans to shoot it down. So, I mean, I think we saw a good attempt
I
there
want
by
Steven to respond to this point.
the Biden-Harris administration to do something.
Even though I know he won't.
Of course, the reason why I'd give them a C- instead of an A+ is because, they probably could have used executive orders such as they did in their last year, a little bit earlier in their administration. But I mean, that is such a smaller and more insignificant critique of their administration compared to, once again, the talking points we see from the right saying they let all these criminal, illegal invader aliens into the country because they want them to vote in elections to ensure that Republicans never get power again.
Right. Where do you think the Democratic Party is most strongest right now?
What do I think they're the most strongest?
Where do you think they're most strongest right now?
I'd say the strongest point of the Democratic Party today in February of 2026 would be for pushing for accountability with the Epstein files. I'd say that they could do a lot more, which of course will.
This was 2 weeks ago, y'all. Also, so keep in mind this was before the war with Iran.
Probably always be saying about politics, and we should, by the way. It's good to advocate for more progression. But I'd say what they're doing right now is strong. For the first time ever, I'm opening my phone and going on the Democrats' TikTok account, which they started, and I'm able to legitimately read how the president is refusing to release all the files, is breaking law, defying Congress. I'm able to see great Democrats like Jamie Raskin, like Rep. Rokana, and many others pressure Pam Bondi in this congressional hearing that was held with her a handful of days ago, maybe a week ago, exposing her as the fraud she is, having her pivot to talking about the economy when they're just simply trying to get her to look at the Epstein survivors. That is definitely the strongest point of the Democratic Party today.
You're 21 years of age. If you had to give Democratic leadership one piece of advice about reaching young men, such as yourself? Not that they got to
That's a good question.
but you know what I mean.
That's a good question.
If you had to give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Reaching young men. Well, I would first honestly say this is the biggest piece of advice I'd give to current Democratic leaders to reach young men is to invest more in the deconstruction of the beliefs that a lot of young men in America already have that have them firmly on the right. I think that we've seen a major capitalization of social media, of the interests that are more typical of young men, like the gym, like cars, and many other things, for years now in a way that we just simply haven't seen from the left, that has really given the right an upper hand to kind of convince young men of whatever they want to almost indoctrinate them into these subliminal biases or foundational core beliefs that are antithetical to the values of the left. And the biggest piece of advice for the Democrats, once again, would just be to start working on deconstructing that. You know, we need to be talking more about, you know, how maybe men are also hurt by toxic masculinity. You're not just hurting women, you're hurting yourself because now you've isolated yourself from anybody who could ever possibly love you because you're an asshole to them. How, you know, it's just a complete and total lie that the left wants to take all your money in taxation and then give it to, you know, low-income Americans to waste away in squalor while they watch TV until midnight, and how social safety nets actually are beneficial, not just to low-income Americans, but to everybody, so on and so forth.
Last question to you, and thank you for your time, by the way. I really enjoyed the conversation. I really appreciate it. Let me ask you this question. Last question.
I wanted them to clash, but it did say interview. I'm not shocked because it said interview, but I wish it was more like back and forth, you know?
Is there one candidate, one,
oh, God, they keep doing this. It's so early, man.
Than the Democratic Party that you can point to, that you absolutely positively not
Caroline got pregnant so she could come out and be like, look, y'all, I can't be a mother and have this job at the same time, so I'm going to have to step down so she don't have to get fired. That's why Caroline got pregnant.
One, but firmly believes can beat any GOP candidate out there for the presidency of the United States.
I think that's a very complex question, because when we're talking about beating somebody, it's not just what policies are they running on or what they like to talk about. It's, you know, what they can convince the people of. I'm going to be honest here, Stephen. From my perspective, it's a little bit too early for me to put all my eggs in one basket. But what I will say, God, when I listen to AOC talk, you know, there's just this feeling that I haven't gotten since Obama.
I see AOC being president, but the world ain't in a place to where it can happen right now. Like, AOC gonna have to run. Well, I'm 30. AOC like 36. AOC ain't gonna be able to run until she like 45, bro. That she ain't gonna be able to run until she 45 minimum. That's when she got to run.
When I listen to AOC talk, when I listen to people like James.
Steven, if you... All right, never mind.
Erika talk, you know, there's this feeling that I just haven't gotten for so long of
this nigga sweating, boy.
Intellect, of high levels of education, of a legitimate care for other people.
I'm not questioning that, Dean. I'm not questioning that, Dean, but I am worried about I don't want to call it social.
I think Dean said that to fuck with him, though, too. Look at this smirk on his face. Dean sounded a little sarcastic. If you watch Dean, that sounded like it had a little bit of sarcasm in it. And this smirk is kind of giving me the tell that he might be being sarcastic right now.
All the way, but certainly some of the things that they're saying. I mean, come on.
I love Jasmine. I don't know if Jasmine is be fit for president, but Jasmine does need to be in Senate for sure.
Come on, D. You got to admit that. I mean, they're not certainly some of the things about I don't want to call it socialism all the way, but certainly.
Oh my God, he's trying to say AOC's a socialist?
Worried about I don't want to call it socialism all the way, but certainly some of the things that they're saying. I mean, come on, D. You got to admit that. I mean, they're not traditional Democratic operatives. Are you willing to admit that?
Well, I mean, traditional Democratic operatives lost the last election to a 34-count felon held civilly liable for rape. So I think it's time we start progressing.
Well, whose fault was that? Isn't that?
Don't say whose fault was that. What are you talking about? Why are people willing to vote for a 34-count convicted felon, sexual abuser, politician, TV fucking host?
The American, isn't that the Democratic voters in this country?
I don't like this. I'm not subscribed. I might make a video on this. I don't know how to approach it. I'm not subscribing to this voters aren't held accountable shit. Like, this is not okay. I'm so sick of people acting like people that go out and vote have absolutely zero responsibility in what they're voting for. Whether or not the two people running are perfect, if you feel that both of them are just so shitty, then everybody stay home and then nobody should get a vote. It should be a vote between 600 people across America, because whatever the lower tiers of education and people are, them is the only people we should see in the vote. If both of the candidates are so terrible, since Kamala was so terrible that people chose that they could vote for a 34 count convicted felon, sexual liable abuser. I'm sorry, I'm slurring, y'all. It's late. No experienced politician that didn't get any policy done, that's fucking been a racist bigot his whole life and a complete fucking idiot. If the choices is somebody I'm not in love with but has the experience and knowledge to at least be able to be president, and versus somebody that don't know what the fuck they doing and they've convicted felon who's a liable sexual abuser that's indicted on other crimes that he probably committed, and I vote for him versus her, I think there's a bigger conversation that needs to be had, and voters need to be the freaking target. I'm sorry. Like, this is not cool, bro. It's not cool that people keep trying to rid responsibility of the people that vote. Like, no, I am holding voters almost as accountable as the people that's running. You know, if we have an election and then you put, like, I don't know, Mark Henry versus Anne Hathaway, then I'm going to be like, all right, bro, I don't know what America's doing, but I'm not voting. I don't know what's happening. We have to have another conversation as to why these two people are running for president right now. Let's have a conversation. Can we talk about that? Can we figure out why these two people are running for president? You know, but you got somebody that's experienced, that's not maybe the best candidate on the earth versus a felon, a sexual abuser. That sorry, I forgot about somebody that incited an insurrection. I forgot about that part. But again, Americans don't even really probably understand the magnitude of what happened on January 6th, because even as somebody that saw what happened and was like, damn, that's crazy. These people were so mad about Trump, they stormed the Capitol. When I learned how we got to that point, fam, when I learned how we got to January 6th, I said, bro, I'm certain that most Americans don't know what happened. Your average American does not know how we got to that point. No, I said, Eli, I agree with you with the Muppet thing when you first said it, bro. Most Americans, especially the ones that voted for Trump, do not understand how January 6th happened from A to Z. They don't get it, because I didn't know. I'm like, damn, these people I'm like, these white people just crazy. I just gonna go storm the Capitol over Trump. Then y'all stupid as hell. Bro, when I found out how we got to that point, bro, if you voted for him after that and you know what happened, then there's no hope for you as a human being.
Nearly 75 million people went to the poll. How come you didn't make sure it was over 77?
Well,
whose fault was that? Isn't that the Democratic voters in this country? Nearly 75 million people went to the poll. How come you didn't make sure it was over 77?
I do. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. I guess because people, you know what? The Democrats didn't go out and vote for, I don't know. I don't like the fact that they didn't vote for Kamala because they didn't see the threat that Trump was. I don't know why they didn't see the threat, but they knew they were probably just unsatisfied with how they was feeling because of how the economy was. But to blame Biden, but again, the reason they came out in droves for Biden is because they felt the pain of COVID with Trump. So there's like, we've getting this motherfucker out of here. He didn't handle it well. They saw how he handled it. He was pushing it off. So Trump made himself look bad. Then when Biden was running again, they was like, oh, I'm not happy with Biden, but I damn sure ain't finna get out and go vote for Trump, because the people that sat at home, they was like, we know Trump ain't no better, but we can't vote for Biden, which I still think is irresponsible. I still think that's very irresponsible because of how ridiculous Trump is as a president. So
Well, you asked me whose fault it is that the Democrats lost last election. We actually had a conversation about that earlier. I told you I think it's a mix mash of
you did.
people like Trump and his
You did.
and convincing him of convincing the people about him being better for the economy, and lack of culpability for Biden not stepping down earlier. But listen, I think what we're seeing now with this whole socialism scare is a whole lot like the Red Scare of McCarthyism. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a communist. I'm actually, on the foundational level, I'm a capitalist. I think that there's a way we could practice capitalism that is benevolent. Okay, I'm a social democrat. But at the same time, there's no socialist in any public office anywhere in America that's turning around and saying that they want to take your rights away from the ownership of the privatized means of production. I mean, look at Zoran Mamdani, somebody who proudly
I was getting ready to bring him up.
Right? Yeah, somebody who proudly calls himself a socialist is a working social democrat within the American political system.
Okay.
Because right now there just simply is no room for socialism as it stands. It's not something that people support, and that's not something that 99% of the Congress supports.
Dean Withers, I would love to continue this conversation, but I got to get ready to go. I want you to know you're welcome back on the show anytime. I really enjoyed the conversation, getting to know you a little.
It wasn't a conversation, in my opinion. It was more of a questionnaire. It was more of a questionnaire. If you ask me, it didn't feel like much of a conversation, but it is what it is. I'm not terrible. It was a little unsatisfying because of the personalities. Yeah, it was like a Q&A. It's like because of these two personalities, I wanted more. Stephen A. did it with Brandon Tatum, but I guess because maybe they disagree more. Maybe I will say Stephen A. does push the people he's talking to. He asks them questions that he thinks they might stumble on. I think Dean did exceptional in this. I ain't gonna lie. I think Dean did extremely well in this conversation, but I wish it was a little bit more back and forth. If he come back again, hopefully they get to have like a little bit, just do a little bit more back and forth. You feel me? But it is what it is. It doesn't matter. But I think we did it for tonight, man. It was fun. I appreciate y'all, man. Each and every single one of y'all, everybody that stayed and watched for the stream, everybody that donated to the stream, shout out. Everybody that subbed after watching the stream, I hope you have. If you are in here and you are not subbed to my channel, it's very possible. Please sub. It helps more than anything, the views help, the subs help. So many free things you do on YouTube helps creators a bunch. If you like my content and you're not sub, please sub. If you like the stream, make sure you like the stream. If you like videos, make sure you like the videos. Please, if you can't support monetarily, I'm not asking you to, and you don't have to. Watch the videos, sub, like. That's all we ask for as content creators, man. But if you made it to this point in the stream, man, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub. If not one, then all three. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.